I had forgot what we were talking about.
Are we live?
Oh,
That's what
yep,
he said.
yep.
Okay.
All right.
Is that my voice?
I feel like you should
don't
know your
own
voice by
voice?
now, bro. Like,
Oh,
Wow.
I'm concerned.
the mute button doesn't work.
Uh-oh.
All right. So I still don't understand the whole black hole thing.
it's his loop program.
Loop?
It's my virtual
shit you gotta do to
audio
make-
capture.
To make Max.
I should
Are
know what
you
this
still
means.
lost? It's a mixer, bro. It's
Oh,
a mixer. It's the Catalina wine mixer. It's a fucking Catalina wine mixer.
what?
What?
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
That's awesome.
What's the question?
You're confusing him further.
I don't even remember what that's from, but I know it's hilarious. What the fuck is that? Yo. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Guys and Guys podcast. We are here. This is where we talk about Japanese music and other music related things. How's that for a plan? We're discussing this new, very questionable, according to at least one Guys and Guy, Limp Bizkit NEMOPHILA cover, Hanabie's cover of Believer by Imagine Dragons, and much more on today's podcast. Today we are sponsored by ourselves. If you have the means, whoever typed this up needs to proofread their shit. If you have the means to do so, consider supporting us further on Patreon, which helps us tremendously expand the production of the show and create bigger opportunities. Check out our merch in the links in the description below. Guys, how you doing today? I'm Ryan, and we got Champ, Wave, and Alan here.
Yo.
Thanks, Ryan.
Who's supposed to go first for the week's thing? Let's keep this in order. I forgot.
Not me.
Champ, you're up.
Sure. You know what I did this week? I went to work, and then I came home from work, and
You got a job?
No. That's a laugh right there, a barrel of laughs. Well, I got to make money somehow. Just don't tell my pimp that I'm trying to find a new job. Anyway, yeah. So just it was pretty boring. You know, like I went to work. I came home from work. I recorded some videos. I did some Patreon stuff, and now we are here where we are. That's basically
you went to work, but you didn't find a job. Is this because you're trying to get a different job, or?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I've been just like sitting here like from 9 to 5 every day, just like sitting and staring at a wall.
I thought you like got up and changed your shirt and then sat back down and just waited for the podcast.
Yeah, and then I just wait for a week, just like take one shower per week right before the podcast starts. No, I have a temporary gig as a prostitute, so after that, hopefully I can move off that soon.
Oh.
OnlyFans, baby. Go to OnlyFans/champ of medium. No. Wait, let me rephrase. OnlyFans.com/champ of hard.
Champ of hard?
Thank you, Wave, for the love on that layered joke right there that nobody else was gonna laugh at.
I got it, but what got me was it's usually Champ of medium, so it's like Champ of medium hard, and I'm like, that's an interesting OnlyFans.
They're
niche.
difficulty levels: easy, medium, hard. I thought it was smart. Just saying.
Champ of medium hard. Things may or may not happen. Stay tuned.
Did you just wait, Alan? You just started laughing now. I need to know what caused the final laughter there.
Fucking the way that Ryan said it. I don't know. I missed that part, apparently. I didn't hear that part when he said that.
So guys, please check out the Patreon, subscribe to our channel. We need to get Champ out of this.
Oh,
yeah.
We watched we watched a really good video today.
Oh, we did.
We did a reaction before the show.
Watched a lot of really good videos. Yeah, on the Patreon though, we checked out that Andromeda song with Ina the End. Do you remember what the name of it was? I don't even care.
Was that the name of the song? Hote?
Yeah.
Andromeda.
Yes. No,
Hote
I thought
the
Andromeda was the name of the band.
No, that was Hote, right?
Okay, Alan read it backwards to us. Just I'm going to throw him under the bus right now.
some videos have the band and then the song, and then some have the song and then the band. And it's really hard to tell which is which sometimes.
I just look at the YouTube channel. See.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that's not even the band name. It's like, what? am I
Okay,
looking at?
Simno Says Andromeda was the name of the song, so it was.
If Simno says so, then that's it.
Oh
yeah,
wow,
so
we got it really wrong then.
Yeah, so it was Hotai featuring Ina the End, and the song was called Andromeda.
Whatever it's called, and by whoever did it, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'll just say it's gonna be on our Patreon like later on, and you guys should check it out because it was amazing. That's why we were late today, honestly, because we were having so much fun talking about and listening to this song. So
Well, that and because Alan did something wrong.
I did.
It's always you, man.
yeah, I thought you were just taking blame for things today. Isn't that what? Oh, okay, no.
You're
All
here.
right, but
It's your
that
fault.
somehow we digressed onto that from my week, which was boring.
sorry.
But that's okay. Somebody else go. Have something more interesting than mine, please.
Alan, you got to have something interesting going on. You had quite a few weeks, didn't you?
Oh man, fuck yeah, because I wasn't here last week, huh?
30 seconds, go.
30 seconds go. Well, I had a lot of fun yesterday. I practiced with the band, set up our in-ear system, got that all set up, which is really cool. I got this like new Mackie system, which is also going to be dubbed as our recording device also. So they do this thing where they have this in rack, you can put it in a rack and stuff, and it can be dubbed as like a in-ear monitoring system, has its own mixes and stuff in there. We can also use all that audio as a interface to record, which was pretty badass. So got that all set up. We're slowly getting all the equipment together and prepping for recordings and doing live videos and doing live streaming as a band. So pretty excited about that. So spent a lot of time working on that. And Eric and I are just getting back into doing videos. We released our Hanabi reaction today. We finally released a video yesterday. We checked out the Baby Metal, that collab that they did with Bring Me the Horizon, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty much the week, the past couple weeks and stuff. Just working on new music and everything.
Awesome, dude. How was do you want to sum up your tour or not? You want to wait for a
Oh shit, I forgot about all that.
video about it? I mean, yeah, you did do that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about
all
there's so much crazy shit that happened on this tour.
Was it eye-opening? I mean, you've been on tour before, right?
Yeah, I have. So it was cool to get back to. This is very different. So on this tour, I was in charge of helping with the audio, helping the sound guy if they were doing a shitty job like the last show. But no matter what he did, he fucked it up. Like, guys, I need to explain something to you. All right. So he has an iPad. He has a virtual mixer. Totally cool. Love it. iPads are great. It's wireless. Don't have to worry about equipment. Fucking awesome. This guy decides to not be in the center of the stage when he's mixing. He decides to be on the other side of the fucking room with an iPad, and he made every band sound fucking awful. So the band that I was there for, Source, I had to keep going up to him, right? Because the singer was on stage. I told the singer not to do this, and he did it anyways. He told the guy, and he kind of sounded like a little weird, the way he said it sounded a little snippy. He's like, hey, can you turn up my backing tracks? Well, this fucking asshole turned the backing tracks all the way up because he's on the other side of the room. So
all the way up?
He turned it up, and then all you hear is,
did he not have any kind of monitor in? He just listened to the loudspeakers?
I don't, they have their own monitoring system. You mean for the sound guide?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. And he was about to keep it like that. So I walked up to him, very polite. I was like, hey, man, can you turn those down? He turns it down. I go back over, still obnoxiously loud. So I go back over. I'm like, can you turn it down? And then I had to keep doing hand gestures from across the room. I'm like, bro, get off your ass from the bar and walk to the center of the stage and listen to what I'm listening to. Because obviously you do not hear what the fuck is going on. Dude, it's so, there's like this whirly keyboard sound. And it's like so badass for the accents with the China that was playing on a certain part of the song, and it was so obnoxious. It drowned out the drums. I'm like, bro. Yeah, I don't know if I'm thinking I thought he was new, right? So it gets worse. So after the show, I meet the owner, our part owner, didn't know it was him. And he was the one gesturing me like with a thumbs up during the show saying, hey, great job. Like, that was good. That sounds good that you brought it down. I'm like, so we start talking about the show. I'm like, yeah, I think the sound guy was probably just new or something. And he's like, oh no, I'm part owner, and like the main sound guy's not here tonight, and he's done this a few times. I'm like,
Oh no.
what? Wow. So he has experience and he still did it like that. I was like, all right. So I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, he's probably new, doesn't know what you're doing. But at the same time, like, why would you go sit at the bar on the other side of the fucking stage and then mix there? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, a lot of stuff like that. But the tour itself was good, guys. Like, for the most part, I definitely don't want to do it again. Was not worth the money.
So I wish it would have been a different experience, but
yeah, I mean,
stories.
it was stories, and it reminded me of how much of a grind it is. It's way different when you're not playing in the band that you're touring with, because other tours I did, I was playing in them. So this is like kind of a first time to do this with me just going there and supporting a band. I hear an echo.
Right.
Somebody has the podcast playing in their background.
It's probably you.
Yeah,
No.
I don't hear it, man. I don't hear an echo either. But I'll just say, bro, like, we were talking about this like the other day when we were on the phone talking about your tour, and I was just thinking, like, man, like at 25, going on tour with somebody else's band, it's cool because it's like an experience. You know what I mean? Like, it's something for you to do in your 20s, and like you get to. It doesn't really matter that it's not your band, because it's still like something that you could just go out and enjoy. Right, because you don't have the same kind of responsibilities that you have in your like 30s and 40s and stuff like that. Now, when you get a little older, it's almost like if you're going to go on tour with a band, you just want it to be your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're getting paid a buttload of money to do it, like, you want to have some sort of like progression coming out of, like, you spend time writing music, you spend time playing the music. You don't necessarily want to go do it for somebody else.
It was still cool to get back into, because the main reason why I did it was like, let me get back in and let's do it. And plus I needed money. I have hospital bills I had to pay from my accident last year. So I was like, it was a good 1,500 out the gate, but I was like, okay, this was not worth it. It was like, I should have just like pushed to get more students instead.
More students or more money. Those are the two options.
Yeah. And I was just like, it was still fun. It was still a good experience. The band was pretty good for the most part, during this tour, and everything was, it went smooth. It didn't help that I was coming off a major illness, like leading into this tour. So the first 2 days, like, were just like rough, but it got better by the end. And it kind of sucked, because on the last week, you're like in the swing of things now, and then it's over.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, we got it down. We have the packing to a T. And I mean, this band is probably way more professional than most bands at this level, because we had a lighting setup that we had to rig up, and during a couple of the stops we had to sit there and program lights. So like, we had to sync up the lights to all the music. We have an in-ear system and their mixes. And one thing they do that I don't agree with was giving their mixes to the sound guy for them to mix, because I never trust sound guys at that level. At that level, you should just do your own mixes and send them out through your snakes or whatnot. It's the best way to do it. For a band like them that has so much stuff going on, like backing tracks and multiple layers, really well produced. I mean, for where they're at, it was great, really good. The last part of the tour was pretty packed shows, and that was cool. There's a couple duds, there always is. There's like one or two people, but it was pretty good overall. They did pretty well. So, but yeah, it was interesting going from like doing merch, then doing sound, and then packing and loading. So doing all that stuff pretty much.
Damn.
During that tour. But yeah, I got a crazy story though that did happen. So it just came into my mind. So I was driving, and I've driven across country multiple times from here to New York. So it's like a 30-hour drive.
Sure.
And you always see deer on the side of the road. They got hit by a vehicle or something like that. And I was like, I've never ever seen a deer actually get hit. And I saw the most devastating fucking thing ever. I was on the road. I see two deer off to the side, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to slow down, because I already know how this is going to go down. I've had deer hit the side of my car before in New York. So I'm like, all right, start slowing down. And the male deer The female deer stays behind. The male deer just fucking goes for it. I'm like, no! I'm like fucking screaming. Everybody's sleeping in the back. And I'm like, no, don't fucking do it. So he clears our road, right? I'm like, dude, don't fucking do it. He jumps into a metal fucking trailer and just off of it. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like screaming this. Everyone's sleeping in their bunks, and the singer's like, what happened? He's just like
it's like you made friends with this deer from the moment you saw it until the moment it hit the trailer. No,
Yeah, there was that connection.
And there's like a whole emotional like reaction there at the time, because I see him like, don't fucking do it, don't fucking do it. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking like the other deer is looking at him going like, you fucking idiot, because the other deer didn't run. It turned down. It saw that shit all go down and it just like walked away. It's like,
dude, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about this?
The singer responds with, yeah, that happens, man.
Well, I'm about to agree with your singer, because as somebody that's from upstate New York, I can't believe you've never ran into a deer yourself or seen somebody else run into it.
I ran into a deer 4 times in 1 year.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Seen
There
it
you go.
happen without him being in.
A green Pontiac. I'm fucking devastated. Like, I'm like traumatized. I remember when I went on tour in Texas and I would see deer on the side, I'd fucking like flinch, because I've had them literally run into the side of my car.
Yeah,
It was
Same,
just
yeah.
like, at that moment, I've never seen it like from that perspective. Like, you know,
The
like,
third person
See the
perspective.
decision-making
Like
process.
when you're not involved. Yeah, exactly. You're watching the wheels turn in this deer's head and then
I
say,
see
yeah, I'm going for it.
deer's head go right into a fucking trailer and then smoke and clouds, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, fuck, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I saw something like that one time where, you know, in Jersey, I know this is different than a lot of other places, but we have like these like 5-lane highways, right? Where you get like 5 lanes on either side, right? So it's like 10 total lanes. So I saw one time I was driving on the 287 in Jersey, and the deer just starts from one side, runs through all 5 lanes on my sides, jumps the barrier to the other side, and as soon as he did, a tractor trailer came in and just went boom.
Yeah.
And this thing exploded, bro. Exploded. It was one of the grossest things I've ever seen. My girlfriend was with me. She was like starting to cry, like her eyes were tearing up and stuff.
Oh,
damn.
Man. Those East Coast deers. And you know what's crazy about this? I see these videos on Twitter of like the deer in other countries that'll like wait at a crosswalk. Like, and then they'll walk slowly across the street after the traffic
You're saying
stops.
our
And
deer
then,
are idiots?
dude.
So
we have dumbass deers in America,
They're
not
dumb.
anywhere else. I
They
don't
wait.
understand.
They will wander next to a road for fucking hours with no traffic. And as soon as a car comes by, like, let's go. Now's the time. I see lights. Now we can cross. Stupid deer.
That's exactly what happened. But
They're all just
hey,
risk takers.
there's a good news to this, all right? Those those fuel trucks, we do know that they're sturdy enough to withstand a deer running into it. So
Sure.
uh,
The
they-
truck is
okay.
okay.
It's a safety concern for the deer, not the humans. Got it.
It's kind of funny you mentioned this, because yesterday I was driving just around town, and I went on, like, was just a highway like going around the little town, and there was like 3 or 4 deer just off in the middle and on the side. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like there's a lot of busy deer having their days cleared.
We need more hunters.
Dude, maybe they're
Man.
all suicidal. Like the deers in America are suicidal. They just hate their life. They hate their existence.
It's that time of season. They're like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna run away from somebody, or I can just end it now.
I don't want another winter.
They saw the signs for like a new presidential election. It said, "Oh, not this shit again." Just jumped into the street. Well, what about you, Wave? How was your week?
Yeah, Wave.
Well, Rosie's literally about to burst, so
Oh my.
it's been kind of in limbo this week, just
Yeah.
waiting. It could be any minute. Well, I said this last week, so it's been a whole week of that. But I had finished recording all the stuff for my new album,
Nice.
so because I really want to get that finished. So that's pretty much all done. I'm just doing like the final, listens through, fixing any glaring issues and mixes and whatnot. But yeah, I'm super excited to put that out, because I think it's the first time I've released anything. Well, one of the first times I've released anything since I started doing the whole reaction thing. So,
Cool, man.
like,
Nice.
in the past, there was never anyone actually already watching my videos when I released music. So,
Yeah.
Right, so you're just releasing it to the ether, just hoping
Yes,
that, like, you know, somebody would
exactly.
latch onto it, like,
I'm-
just
still what it
like
feels like.
accidentally find it.
it is. I put out like 7 that way. And now I look back, I'm like, how the heck did I keep? I must have been, that's like the definition of insanity when you keep trying the same thing and expecting different results. I'm
Yeah.
like,
So being a
I just
musician
kept
is.
releasing album after album to nobody.
Right.
And I was like, how did I have so much drive back then? And now I could barely make one.
Well, the age. I'll say that I had way more
Yeah.
drive at, like, 19 than I do now.
True.
It's
But
good
hey,
you got-
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you got it done. Good you got it done now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got a level platform for it now. So it's like, even if only 0.5% of the people that, like, follow your channel watched it, that would still be like a few hundred people.
Still way more than I ever had in the past.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. I can't wait to hear it, Wave. I really want to.
thank
When you say that you're putting out this album, right? Obviously, you play guitar, you play drums, you play. I'm guessing the bass on it too, because you play guitar. Are you doing vocals?
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard you sing yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
give us a little tune right now, Wave.
Uh,
Why
something
don't you
right
sing
now.
us a little song? Little twinkle, twinkle, little star.
I
Would
don't
you-
have your star power, champ. I
With
just can't
your,
just start singing on the spot.
With your Yayoka, the Zeppelin cover, did you sing that?
Yeah, good times, bad
Yeah, he
times.
sings freaking Zeppelin, dude. He can sing.
Wow,
you
yeah,
should
Robert
pay more
Plant's not
attention
easy.
to your partner here. Partner on
To
the
be
show.
fair,
Yeah,
to be,
asshole.
To be fair, the last person of our group that I watched a video from was Wave. Now it was a 4-month-old video, but it was Wave.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I've been watching all of Wave's Dreamcatcher reactions recently. Gone onto his channel, saying that what does Wave think about K-pop is really what I've been going there for.
I see.
Thank you.
Right
what were you
on.
saying, Alan? Were you gonna say something?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, all right, Ryan. What about your week?
My week has been busy. So we're both writing music, Wave. I'm working on what is going to be my next album. The long awaited. No, not long awaited. A lot of people don't know I got one out anyway. But the funny thing about the first one I put out, it's been a few years now, and it was like it's music that I was comfortable writing, but there's a lot of it is mainly for my family. So there's some country on there and some country style stuff, and more is all pretty much acoustic based with a couple of my older songs. This one, what I just happen to have enough now. Like I realized, I got enough. I got like 6 songs like right now, and I have a couple other singles I put out over the years that I'm going to redo. And it's more along the lines of what I'm listening to currently. And the one I'm working on right now was directly inspired by Lynn, a bassist I met when I was in Japan. And we had a conversation about cicadas and childhood and being out in the woods and stuff and just wilderness and nature. And I finally got around to writing a song for it. And it developed into something completely different. And it's gone from just being a pretty acoustic tune to being acoustic, then going into straight fucking metal. So it's pretty fun.
Oh, sweet.
And,
Was that the one you said you played live a couple weeks ago?
No, I haven't even played this all the way through yet. I don't have the vocal melody down yet.
Oh, okay.
No, that was I built the stairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I've been just a lot of time on that, trying to just sort out what to do next step wise with my channel and everything. And then, but I'm really letting the music writing happen, because if I don't, and I just focus on doing videos and stuff, I'm just not going to be happy. So
yeah, same, dude. I've noticed like when I record reactions now that I'm actively making music again, I feel so much happier watching other people play.
Yeah.
Like, hey, they're a musician too. Instead of just
yeah,
I'm wasting my life.
Yeah, you guys know how much of a torture it was to watch bands play for 3 weeks straight.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling you right now, it was fucking awful. I think I was texting Eric and stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't think I can watch anyone ever play again. Like, I'm like, all I want to do is be playing on stage. This really sucks. So I came back with a whole new motivation. Like, we practiced 3 times this week already. The band has.
Nice.
Like, we've been fucking hitting it hard. I was like, we're getting this album done. Like, we're getting this done and releasing it. So
that's cool, man. Yeah, this last song, it's been, they use it like an alternate tuning, which I never use. I shied away from, but to make it happen, I needed it. And then that inspired like a melody I use later has to be done in that tuning. And then at one point I was like, well, here I am doing the same shit again. How can I change it up? What would Konami do? So I did some things I thought she might do, and it made me happy because I'm like, hell yeah, dude, that's like what I like.
Yeah.
If you ever find yourself writing music and you don't do the things that you like to hear in music, it's like, what the
most of the time.
What the hell, man?
Most of the time that I write something, it ends up being something where I'm like, I don't even like this song. God damn it. Yeah, it's the opposite of what we were talking about last week. Remember we were saying like sometimes you start writing something, it ends up becoming exactly like not at all what you were planning on it being in the first place.
Yeah.
And you hope that in that situation that it becomes something better than what you were planning, but every time in my situation it becomes something I'm like, damn it, this sucks. Like, why did I keep going?
Well, dude, keep like, I mean, you could always rework it till it becomes what you want it to be, you know? Just keep doing passes through it. Apparently he didn't like that very much.
Yeah.
He just
He's like,
left.
screw you guys, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I think it's Wave. I don't know how well, Ryan and Wave. I don't know how you guys do the writing by yourself like that. I mean, I've done it and I've coming up with majority of songs, but man, I really love the collaboration part. So it's shout out to you guys for like even being able to just like really do that, you know.
A unique thing for me is I use my Patreon and my Discord. Like I'll turn my camera on and I'll just write and I'll put unedited stuff like, 2 hours long. Like, here, skip through this shit. But I'll get feedback from people. I'm not directly asking, what do you think about this? So, but I'm sharing it with them, like the process. And then on Discord, there's a few people that I'll share with, like, hey man, if you want to mess around with mixing this or whatever. And sometimes they're like, oh, what I was hearing this, or I was hearing that. So yeah, there's definitely, I do soundboard a lot more than I used to, and it helps,
Yeah, soundboarding's helpful. I'm like addicted to it now. Like I love just like showing it people, even like you, Ryan. I think I sent you some stuff and you're like, oh, maybe you need something that grabs their attention a little bit more in the beginning. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. It kind of reminded me of the whole Queen thing. Queen did that when they came out with like their biggest album. They're like, we need to get to the good stuff right away first. So that's why you hear them always open up with something interesting that grabs your attention. And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. And then you start like keeping that as a possibility, like make sure not every song might need it, but yeah, it was still a really good point. Well, just an example of that,
Yeah. For me, it kind of was born out of necessity. Like I just didn't have anyone to collaborate with.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
now I'm like, does anyone have time to even listen to this? So I like feel bad sending it to people. Be like, hey, could you listen to this?
Send it to us.
If you guys wouldn't mind, that'd be cool to get your feedback.
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
Yeah, I think it's so fun too when you do get feedback, if you're willing to take it. I mean, there's definitely those moments where it might not go as well, or it depends on who you talk to though. Like, I mean, I probably wouldn't be sending a song off to people that won't give you honest feedback. That's not insulting, I guess. There's a good way to give feedback. There's some people that do really bad. I've had some band members that are like that, where they're just like, no, that's trash. Okay, why is it trash? They don't explain. They're like, all right, thank you, dude. Okay, it's trash. I have nothing to work with. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. You guys ever have any band members like that? Like
that
like you ask for feedback and there's like nothing constructive about it whatsoever?
Yeah. Any keyboard player I've had to deal with.
Keyboard
Fucking pain in the
playing.
ass.
I think we just found out Ryan's got a prejudice and somewhere inside that we didn't know about.
I do.
I feel like every band I've been in that had a second guitarist that was working with me, it always ended up becoming like this passive aggressive sort of thing where it was like,
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
yeah, exactly. That exactly. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's like, okay, bro, just say what you're fucking thinking.
mean,
like, I know that you don't like that. Like, just tell me. We'll work
Do
on
you
it
think
together.
it sounds good?
So see, this is what I love about my bandmate Eric, is he'll just straight up be like, no, that's not good, and this is why. I'm like, I just appreciate that so much more. You know, like yesterday I was singing a bunch of vocal melodies. He's like, yeah, I like the notes, but it doesn't sound good. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Oh.
Like gave me those reasons why. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, you got to change that around. Most of the time, you know it's bad too, but sometimes it's just good to hear somebody else say it's bad also, because
Yeah.
with it.
I think it's also like on the opposite end, it's so hard to like let's say you have somebody that's writing something and you don't really love it that much, and you're like, okay, I want to kind of like adjust it, and you know that there's a chance that they're going to get defensive if you do, you know. So it's kind of hard sometimes to give that constructive criticism, because not everybody's good at receiving it, you know.
Yeah.
Like even just thinking about one of my guitarists from my last band was, he was very, very good. Like, he was a great guitarist. He could play anything, but he, in my opinion, wasn't that great of a songwriter, right? So, but he was so good, he would just write the whole song by himself, right? Like, so he'd write from 0 to 100 the whole song, and then I'd come in and I'd be like, okay, like it's got good bases. Let's work on a transition here, maybe change a background. Like, let's change the rhythm section of the solo, for example, right? So it's not just the same as the verse.
Right.
And like every little thing I knew was going to bother him slightly if I pushed to change it, and it was
the way
so
that
frustrating.
the way that Eric and I work. Eric is on like a hot streak, just writing shit ton of songs. Like, but he's so okay with me like taking it and transforming it, which is, it works out perfect, because he writes very structured songs, and then I go in there and go like, oh, let's do 9/8 timing right there. Let's do 3/4.
That's great that you guys can do that, man. That's a rare.
Yeah.
That's a rare thing. The last band I was in, the other guitar player was he's super intelligent, super talented, and he'd write a whole song. And if he would ask you something, that was pretty much him just saying how it was going to be. It's like, yeah. And I was always big surprised, the guy who, if the whole band didn't want to do this shit, but nobody'd say anything, I'd finally be like, dude, look, nobody wants to fucking play this, and nobody likes it, so we need to do something else.
I believe that would be you too.
Yeah. It's like, I'm tired of fucking pussyfooting around this shit. Nobody likes this part.
Ryan's willing to shut his mouth until he's not willing to shut his mouth, and then it's an explosion of disagreement. But it's I'm so jealous of that too, Alan. Like, because and obviously that comes from like years of friendship also between the two of you. You know that you could be more honest with each other rather than just having the connection through the band. You know what I mean? Like, friendship actually helps in that situation. My bassist, he was a friend of mine. We would work together, like, actively, and he knew what his flaws were and would be okay with me changing them. But it also comes to, like, when somebody is that good at something, it's harder for them to kind of like pass the buck off onto somebody else and let them edit it for them, because they feel like they've already done the perfect thing, you know? And it's just a little ego in there. The better you get, the more ego you usually have. So it's a little tough.
Right on, man.
Yeah, that's definitely something I struggle with, because I've never had that team where I have a sounding board. So like, I will get precious with my stuff, which I'm not like that anymore. I just haven't. I'm too nervous now to like get the feedback, but if I did get it, I would actually take it to heart now and see it as constructive, you know. But that's something I've struggled with in the past, because I was kind of the quiet kid in the corner that just spent my time always playing music, and like, you know, I felt like what I was doing was really good. And I definitely had that ego.
You forced yourself to have like the only thing to give you critique is the mirror, right? Because like nobody else was listening. So you were like, okay, I'm going to make this as perfect as I can without anybody else, you know, being integrated into it. So it makes sense that you would feel that way also. But Yeah, I think it's important when you're writing music, especially that you're writing music. Like you should write music for yourself. We've talked about this before. You should write music for yourself. Um, but also you need to have like an open-ended sort of not everything I do is the best, right? Like other people
Sure.
might
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
better at certain things than me, and having a little, constructive criticism is always. I'm a huge fan of it. I'll write 75% of a song, and I'll say fill in the other
And,
25%. Like I
and that's
love
like,
that.
and that's what I could tell with like Maximum Hormone, Bandmade, even NEMOPHILA. Like you can tell like there's friendships in those bands, you know.
They respect
Just
each other.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And then
yeah,
there's other
definitely.
bands you're like kind of question it, you know. I
Yeah.
think a good example of that in like the Japanese realm would be like Bratz. You know, they had a bunch of line changes and stuff like that, lineup changes. You know,
Mm.
you can tell when there's something like kind of like off or whatnot.
Yeah, I think you could always usually tell also when somebody is like the person that wrote the song. Like I know that we've talked about like with Bandmade, for example, Konami writes like the whole song, doesn't she? And then she passes it off and lets them kind of write their own parts to it. Is
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
way that it
More or
works?
less. She's the architect of it, and then things will get tweaked, but they all. I think that's where I mentioned respect, because they will try and do whatever they can to honor what she did. And if something doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
Mhm.
Misa is also, she just said that she just does what she wants because she's a genius.
Yeah. And like Akane is not like I know one of you told me like Konami has written some of her drum parts before, which was surprising to me. But like,
That,
Yeah.
that,
She
that
writes
makes
out the
sense because like with Frank, I help him write his drum beats. You know,
mhm,
because you have a particular vision sometimes with the accents of the cymbals, which is really important for the guitar riffs. I
mhm.
feel like, and sometimes when Frank writes the drum beats, there's like certain parts like, hey, let's China here, this cymbal here. We could do like a dance here on the cymbals, kind of. So I can totally see that happening with Konami. Like
So
maybe,
oh yeah.
would you in that situation like say, okay, come up with a beat for this, and then after he does, edit it to make it closer to you, or would you say, I have an idea for this beat already, do this?
yeah, I'll have a beat already, an idea sometimes. I'll send him the idea, and he always makes it better.
Mhm.
And I think that might be what happens with Konami because Konami writes a lot, and she has to be having some kind of beat in her head when she writes those
Yeah.
riffs. You know,
There's
It's it,
Akane is she's mentioned where sometimes she writes stuff that I can't, like, impossible, but she
yeah,
tries to do it
yeah.
anyway. She
yeah.
tries to do it, but sometimes like, look, I can't. I need another arm if you want me to do that. So there's obviously there's conversation going on. But like
She got
But
Soken Inaru is like that. Juko, he writes all the parts and gives to the band, and those insane drum parts from Soken Inaru that's from the singer, and the drummer's like, okay, and he just does it.
can
Damn,
And
the
that's
so
singer can the singer do it?
I don't think so.
Or
That's a crazy thing. But the cool thing about seeing them live was this might play into if you like how well a band is together. Like he's the architect, but in the live setting, uh, Misaki she did most of the talking. Like she was comfortable in front,
Mhm.
and her and the drummer were very vocal and just talking and stuff. And
yeah.
even Toronoko Rami, Risako does, that's bassist. Mizuni Mizuki, the guitar player, writes the music and kind of presents to the band all the drum parts and everything. But they all, you know, it's a starting point.
It's a
yeah.
yeah. It just blows my mind because like some of the like bandmates specifically, just to make the example easier, some of the drum parts feel like they couldn't possibly come from somebody that wasn't a drummer because like it's just
Yeah,
some of it's so clever and something that I could never, as somebody that's never played drums, I can never even like wrap my mind around why she does certain things sometimes. So it blows my mind that like Konami would be like the the
Huh.
person setting that
and
up. You know what
maybe
I
that's
mean?
why some of the drum parts are
Yeah,
so weird, because it's not drummers writing it. And they're like,
That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say. Like on the other hand, if you don't feel limited by like, well, that doesn't really sound possible, you won't even try.
man, fuck it, let's try it anyway.
Like you might just try something that's more comfortable to play
Do
and
this.
won't get as experimental.
You need to hit all three of these cymbals at the same time with a double kick and hi hat. What? Cool, man.
I think like on top of having respect for everyone in the band, it's also just all having that same goal of wanting to make the song, the final product, the best it can be. Because no one cares who did what or who has credit for what it is. If the final song is amazing and the product is as good as it can be, then you've all achieved your goal, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And I also think you could tell, like, you could kind of tell usually when it's like one person that's kind of like leading the charge on a song, you know, like that East of Eden song that everybody loved. Like you can kind of tell that the violinist is like, she is the featured act in that, and I feel like a lot of stuff is following the violin through it.
Mm.
While and this is just a minor criticism from me. Like that's kind of like why I didn't like the song as much as everybody else did. I think because I kind of like it better when I can feel like every person in the band had their own kind of like say into what the project sounded like, and like that could have happened here. I just didn't get that impression. You know what I mean? Like it really felt like it was like the violinist was like leading the charge through the whole thing, and like the guitarist was following them, the drummer was following her, and stuff like that. So, you know, I like it when it feels more like a collaboration.
Sure.
Nice.
Well,
All right, man. Nice discussion, guys.
Yeah.
That
You
was our
want to move
weeks.
on to Oh,
That was
geez.
our
Our
weeks, huh?
weeks.
It was 50 minutes
We're
later.
still
That was
on
our
that
weeks.
segment. Gee, damn.
So let's go on to some news. How about that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Let's see here. We got voting for the best metal album of 2023.
yeah.
What site is this through? Metal Hammer?
This is through loudsound.com. We got Baby Metal's album on there and a bunch of other albums. So you guys should go vote for Baby Metal if you liked it. Avenged Sevenfold's album was on there also, but I almost can argue that the new Avenged Sevenfold is not so much metal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Really?
I mean, it is.
I mean,
like,
when was the last time they were really metal though, right?
Yeah,
Like they've kind of
all the genre lines have been blurred so much. It's just, you know, even the
Mhm.
Baby Metal album is not all metal either.
I
So,
love
No.
that.
Yeah, yeah, that's why we liked it. It was rock
Oh,
instead of
man.
metal this time.
They got the list here, and that's it's a lot of songs, a lot of metal bands.
a lot of metal bands. Yep.
All right,
we
so
got-
this is
let's
all over
see.
the world, right? This is from everywhere.
Avenged
So those are-
Sevenfold.
Those were the two notable ones for me, and Avatar. That's a pretty good album too. I don't know. What would you guys vote for?
Metallica,
I mean,
for sure.
there's
I mean-
Atreyu, Autopsy, Avenged Sevenfold,
Atreyu has a new album out.
Baby Metal.
Yeah, they do.
Is it
Cannibal
terrible?
Corpse.
We
Have you heard?
Diabetes.
Tomb Mold.
We
Alan,
checked out
have
one of their
you heard?
songs, and it was pretty good. It was a pretty good
Really?
song. Yeah, it was
Nadia
very
is on
solid.
here.
It's very solid.
Yeah, dude, they might be my vote, even though it's like not my personal favorite. Like, it's just like so.
If
I don't
we're
know. It's a
talking
great
metal-
album.
If we're talking metal, Hanabi is my choice.
Yeah, I might vote for it too. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so cool and unique and fresh, and it's definitely metal. And I don't know, like nothing else really
Well,
sounds like it.
We got two
I-
Japanese bands on here. This is fucking cool, man. And In Flames.
Yeah, I love Baby Metal, but
Love Bites.
if we're talking about best metal album, I mean Hanabi is more true to the metal sound, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Love Bites is
Oh,
on there
yeah.
too.
Love
Yeah.
Bites is on there. King Gizzard
Nice.
and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh my god!
Mammoth,
So
I
I
don't
can't
know.
believe In Flames got on there though. Like I love In Flames, probably my favorite band of all time. But the new album was not like it for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mammoth, I wouldn't consider Mammoth metal.
I don't know. This is kind of it seems like it's veering into the rock territory. Also,
Metallica's on there, you know.
I
Orbit
mean, they
Culture, great
called
band.
Guns N' Roses metal back in the day. You know, let's be real.
What is metal?
Well, I
It's
think
Three.
Metallica is gonna win, guys.
Probably.
better fucking not.
Oh,
Same
Rick,
token, whatever.
Rick from the chat says you could choose up to 10 albums.
10 albums.
Wow.
Voice of Bachiput's on there. It's freaking cool.
Nice.
I'm gonna go on here afterwards and start voting.
Yeah, me
I
too.
actually want to know what
Oh,
happens.
this
with
is actually votable.
yeah.
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 Oh, sweet.
Maybe I
Stand
should have
voted.
been voting for these bands as I went. Huh.
Yeah,
Right
you
on.
got to do it again.
I'll put the link in the chat for you all.
Oh
There
yes,
you go.
thank you.
There it
Yeah,
is. If
do
you
that.
guys
Oh,
want
let's do
to do
that.
some votes. I'm
Let's
definitely
do
voting
that.
Hanabi, Baby Metal, Sevenfold,
All right,
Avatar.
let's be real. We're voting for all the Japanese bands,
Right,
And
that's
then
true.
whatever else we feel like voting for.
Yeah, what else is left? All right. A bit of sad news. Ex-Japan bassist Heath passes away at age 55.
Yeah, it
So
sucks.
was it last week?
It happened at the end of October.
That's right.
apparently.
Yeah. a
So
couple-
I think
couple
like the
weeks.
final couple days of October, but they were pretty quiet about it until.
Yeah,
a
and I
little
think
later.
Yoshiki was notified, and he flew straight back to Tokyo, where he tried, said goodbye, and went to Shinjuku, Tokyo, where he bid silent farewell to his longtime friend. So yeah, it hit the surviving members pretty hard. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Condolences to the family.
Do we want to read a little bit off the
What's that?
article? Do we want to read a little bit off the article?
I can read part of it if you guys want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it says here that he struggled with his health since the start of the year, and he was diagnosed with cancer pretty much for this. So the disease has already progressed so far that Heath himself had little time to sort out his own affairs. He did not have the chance to share the news of his diagnosis or his personal battle against cancer with any fellow members of X Japan. So this was a surprise for the members.
It happened so that happened so fast.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Could you imagine, not you find out that you're gonna die and you don't even have enough time to tell the people that are important in your life?
Yeah. And then for those who don't know, Heath joined X Japan in 1992, following the departure of the bassist Tahi. In the same year, Heath recorded the band's 29-minute epic Art of Life. He also performed on the 1996 studio album Dahlia, as well as on the singles that followed it, including For Jade, Born to Be Free, and the most recent digital release, Angel. He served with X Japan until its 1997 disbandment, and again upon in the reunion in 2007. So again, condolences to the family, man.
Yeah, that sucks. Rest in peace, Heath from X Japan. One of the greatest, the classics.
Legend.
Yeah, they are the fucking, what would you say, the Led Zeppelin of Japan?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
That much influence.
And that's that's at least the third member from the band that's passed, probably more. Because their first bassist passed also before he joined, and obviously the guitarist Hyde passed also. So yeah. This is just a long line of unfortunate early passings in this band.
Yep. All right, man. Well,
do we have any happier news?
We do. NHK World Japan's prestigious international music event, the NHK World Japan Music Festival 2023, is scheduled to air in 160 countries and regions worldwide on November 18th and November 26th at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Furthermore, the event will broadcast on NHK General Channel on January 3rd next year, starting at 10:35. So this is, I think it's been recorded already, but this is when it's going to air. And Bandmate was a part of that. I don't think they announced it, actually. They just went and did it.
It just showed up.
The NHK knew they were going to be there, but they didn't put out a big thing.
Yeah, but it'd be cooler if they didn't.
But so yeah, you got Bandmade, Be First, Chameleon, Lime, Whoopie Pie, Imase, Kajira Yuki, Kanjani 8, Kisoku Band. So Mrs. Green Apple, Queen Bee. I think I mentioned these bands before. We've heard of them. Mm-hmm. And Bandmade, Radio Na.
So this Ketsuka band from Bocchi the Rock, is that the actual band that played for the anime?
Probably.
Like the real life band members behind Ketsuka band?
I mean, it seems like it would have to be, right?
So yeah, admittedly, a bunch of people I am not familiar with, and Bandmate.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. I know the end was that first picture in there too. Speaking
was
of,
it?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to check out more of. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely. But we probably got to check out some more Hote too, then, if that's the case.
Right. Let's see what else. Interview Marty Freeman on gifting J-pop to the world. Says part 2. Marty delves into the prominence of female-led J-rock bands, an emphasis on musical literacy in Japan, the wonders of self-produced Japanese artists, and more. Read on to find out just how all these sonic forces made the heavy metal icon fall in love with J-pop time and time again. Marty was a guitarist for Megadeth, and they weren't too far from their peak. They had some great music out. He left the band, and I read an interview with him, and he was like, he just found that the music he was playing wasn't the music he was enjoying listening to. And what he's listening to was Japanese pop. And he just dove into it and ended up moving to Japan. And he's been there for about 20 years now.
That's wild.
He's been all over TV. He's had his own shows and he guests on shows weekly and stuff. So the dude, he's a brilliant artist. He's still making music, and he performed with Megadeth here recently when they were in Japan. But yeah, I mean, he's a good a champion of the music, trying to get it out there.
Yeah, he's got a really interesting mind, the way he talks about music. Sorry about that, champ.
No. I was just gonna say I really appreciate that. That's that he's been doing that, because he's probably the biggest star from like the Western culture metal scene that's actually given enough like love and respect out to the Japanese rock and pop world. I do wonder, like, what is he listening to today? Because like, when was the last time that we heard him talking about anything? I wonder if he's listening to like, is he listening to NEMOPHILA? Is he listening to Hanabiye? I want to know. But he also says pop a lot in this article.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking maybe he's listening more like AKB41 or like Perfume, maybe something along those lines. Maybe he loves the Bang Dream franchise.
I think he's just a fan of music in general. They get specific with the questions. This one isn't too long. It says in America, the fan base for these bands do tend to overlap. Fans who go to a Bandmate show also follow Hanabiye and NEMOPHILA as they tour through the states. That might lead to a bias when identifying Japanese music from a non-Japanese point of view. He says that's a good point, but I wouldn't paint that necessarily as a bad thing. A lot of people at those shows are interested in Japan and the Japanese music scene. They're just happy that these bands make the effort to come to America to play. So, let's see. You mentioned I totally support that. I'm very happy to see the trend of more Japanese bands going to America. I know that Passcode was just there. They're one of my favorites. So he likes Passcode. So he likes the heavy. He likes the pop. You get that all with Passcode.
Yeah, that's what do. Yeah, that's it's every genre.
So it's just very important that we build bridges not only to Japan but other countries as well. That's the way you enjoy music to the fullest. So you don't understand the lyrics. So what? You're going to discover new things, and the more that happens, the better for music all over. I completely agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, me too. I think that he's the champion of this, right? Like he's like the number one guy that we can look towards for kind of making that connection to the Western and the Eastern music scene. Does he have a YouTube channel? Do you guys know that he like goes off and talks about this stuff on?
I don't know actually.
I'm live streaming.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check that out. Yeah, while you guys are going forward, I'm gonna see if Marty has a YouTube channel. We can see.
Yeah, that's a good question. He must. I mean, everyone does.
Right, he's got to have something.
Musicians.
Let's see here. Gotrek Spin uploaded Baku Baku official music video, which we will talk about later. Unlucky Morpheus uploads cover song UFO. You feel overjoyed. I didn't know that was a cover.
You feel overjoyed.
So Unlucky Morpheus stuff. That's cool. Big fan.
It's a cover of who?
Cover song UFO.
The band is UFO?
No. Well, I don't know.
Sounds like the song is called
You Feel Overjoyed is what it stands for.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay, cool. I've never heard
Unlucky Morpheus self-cover version. I don't know exactly what's going on.
Did they cover their own song?
I don't know. Check out the video, UFO. If you want to see Fuki and the band do what they do, go check out the video.
I haven't heard them do a cover yet. They're fucking fantastic, though, so I'm excited.
Pallid Dusk upload video of Rumble featuring Masato from Cold Rain. Nice. Which we've heard about that song for a while. But
yeah, we've
listened to hear Alan's thoughts on
this
that.
Is live.
But, Alan's gone.
Okay. New band debut, Venus, will release their first single, Diamond in the Rough, on December 20th.
Oh, that's out now. Didn't Alan bring that up in the...
That's 8 days from now, my friend.
December 20th.
What the heck did I look
at?
November.
A month and 8 days.
What the heck did I see this morning?
Sleazy rock band Venus will release a new single December 20th. Diamond in the Rough is the first release from the quartet formed this year by ex-Olivia Sugar vocalist Lisa and guitarist Miyakat, Bababble bassist Natsu Ayogi, and drummer Mami. That sounds familiar. Mami.
Yeah, dude.
I've heard her name before.
4 weeks ago, they released a music video, Venus, Diamond in the Rough. And I watched part of it this morning. It's a sleazy rock band.
So it's out already?
Interesting. Yeah. Well, it posted a month ago,
Huh.
but maybe it's 5 minutes long, so it's not like a preview. Anyway,
Right on. Trident, new song Kick Ass, hits 100,000 views. That's pretty new. It's pretty
Yeah,
quick
that
for them.
would that come out like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
That was
ago?
a good song too. It was
Yeah,
really
man, I like that
Kick-Ass?
song.
I haven't heard that one
Which
yet.
one?
Kick Ass, yeah.
Kick
Oh
Ass.
yeah.
But it keeps getting promoted. It's like on my YouTube front page every time I pull up my YouTube.
Yeah.
That was
Didn't we
such a
watch
sick-
it together?
yeah.
No,
thought
we
we-
watched the next one that they released. It was like the week after that they released another song.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then another one. We listened to another one after that, like a B-side from it too. Remember the
did
Twinkle
talk
Twinkle
about it,
Little
though, didn't-
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star one?
I think we did.
Didn't we talk about it? Because the one where like the camera turned around and then the people froze and they started beating them up or something.
Yeah, we did talk. I think I had. Yeah, we watched that.
Was that Kick Ass? Oh, maybe
Yeah.
we did see that.
Yeah, I was about to say. I swear we did together.
It was like the first week we were talking about songs that we picked. I think that was one of the choices or something. I don't remember.
Right on.
Why am I the one remembering stuff?
That's weird. It's a weird situation.
That means you're getting better, Wave.
I hope so.
Some bands.
Yeah, you're right. It was Kick Ass. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Neo Future was the one that came out right before.
Oh
that.
yes.
Okay. Had flip flopped. Right on. Bandmade. Misa participated in the Bass Live 2023 event, which was
Yeah, I saw some pictures of that.
yesterday for us, day before yesterday for them, I think.
Cool. Base Day.
So yeah, bass day, a bunch of different basses, obviously, but then they have different musicians playing with them. I would really like to see what went on during that thing. It should be pretty cool. There's I don't know if it's in this event. There's an I know on my Discord and in the BMCD you can get there's an interview with Misa. They asked all the bass player their guests like the same questions, and so you can compare their answers, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, so Fami was there too. Sweet.
Was she?
That's what Undead Ginger said, and he's our
Nice.
resident Love Bites supermark. So
Cool. I was wondering. I hadn't seen anything about that, so that's cool that she was there. Couple weeks, Bandmaid's playing Yokohama Theater. Holy crap! I wish I could be there.
Man.
yeah, that'd be cool.
That's a big one, man. I know there's a lot of people from here going. There's a lot of people from all over the country on our Discords and in the chat that are actually going to go just for this show.
I'm
And
shocked you're not going.
I had to quit my fucking job to do this. Now I can't go anywhere.
You stream from over there.
Nobody offered to take me, so I'm stuck here listening to everybody else's commentary.
So I'm wondering how many people fit into the Yokohama Theater because I've got like different amounts based on
Well,
like
yeah.
what kind of show is going to be there.
I think max is like 17, but sometimes we'll cut it in half. I don't know what their configuration is going to be, but I know I've been hearing that most of it's sold. Like it's not completely sold out, I don't think, but it's close.
Okay, this is the 17K one. All right, yeah. I mean, even if they hit like, if they're anywhere over 10, I feel pretty good about their shows.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
It's 10,000 people is a fucking lot.
Yeah,
It's like
dude.
17,000 is a real lot.
I
That's like a huge show.
I was at one temple in Japan. I can't remember where it was. There was 1,000 individual statues in this temple. They're all lined up on like a bleacher system almost, where there's like 10 rows or 5 rows and 10 across. I can't remember what it was, but it was 1,000 of these statues all in one room. And I could not believe how many there were. Like that's the first time I knew for a fact that there was 1,000 of these, figures there, and I could see it in one shot. And it was, dude, it's a lot of people.
That's insane.
Like just 1,000.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then,
yeah.
then I thought like, well, that many subscribers. That's a lot of people that are checking out our channels, man, because this is a lot of people right here, and it's 1,000. And then I think
Wow.
about like that 17,000 people, dude.
Yeah, so a video with 1,000 views isn't a flop.
No, man, no. It was just I'd never seen it visually like that. I've been in places where there's been more than that, but not like how many people are. Oh, there's like 10,000 people. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Wave, we could be hard on ourselves when it comes to that stuff, but you know how many YouTube channels start up and they can't get over like 15 views on a video? Like it happens all the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
So like you hit 1,000,
we've all
you should
probably
feel
been there.
pretty solid.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, yeah, it's just to clarify, it's the Yokohama Arena, not the theater. The theater is a little
Yokohama Arena,
smaller. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's okay.
Nice. That's even better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Arena.
Yeah, because the theater is like, I was looking at the theater because I think they played there also, and it's that one holds up to like 5,000, I think, depending on how it's set up. But the theater is like straight up 17K. You can
Is there a
fit
Yokohama
17K in
theater
there.
and a Yokohama Arena?
Yeah, there's
Okay,
two.
my bad.
No, no worries. So this one's the arena.
Cool. Right on. I guess that's what I got for news, guys.
Awesome.
So, thing we've been doing here is each week each of us put forth a song that we really like or we found that week or a band, and we've all been listening to it. I've been recording it, not necessarily watching videos, but I'll listen to the songs, and I put a video of that up on the Gaijin Guys channel. If you feel like watching that.
Yeah, because we mentioned last week that we were going to like start telling you guys beforehand what songs we're going to be checking out and talking about on the podcast this week, and now we've actually got a video going up before the podcast from Ryan.
Yeah,
with the videos.
Sweet.
So this week we got a Gotrek Spin, Velvet Size, Broken by the Scream, NEMOPHILA, and Hanabiye.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Where should we start?
Where the hell did
Alan is gone again.
Oh, Model Alan has returned.
God damn it.
Regular Alan has walked away.
Model
I was
Alan.
looking for it because this was like his freaking thing again about this fucking title.
Yeah, that's what he does. He gives us topics that'll piss off everyone, and then he leaves.
There he is.
There he is.
What did I do?
You want to start off with your clickbait, buddy?
Yeah.
It's not clickbait. It is the worst cover of 2023.
No, you
It-
don't like it.
Limp Bizkit. No, because there's songs that I don't like, but I can recognize sound good. That is arguably really bad. It is really bad. I'm
Why?
sorry. It's just
Why?
the vocals were not. Maybe it's the mix. It's
All right, but before you wait, say the name of the song
Strange.
first. I want them to know what we're
NEMOPHILA
talking
covering
about.
Limp Bizkit's song.
NEMOPHILA
Stop.
covering
There we go.
a Limp Bizkit song. I want to say something though. The guitar, the bass, and drums were phenomenal. They were really good. They were
Okay.
like down to the T. They have that new metal sound like perfect, and we already know this. NEMOPHILA is really good with that. The vocals were not good at all. They just were not good. I don't know if it was just the mix of it. It just didn't sound good. I just did not like it. And comparing it to the new Hanabi's cover, that was like fucking fantastic all around. Phenomenal mix. The vocals are great. It was amazing. But no, the NEMOPHILA vocals like on that cover were not good.
What do you mean not good?
It didn't sound right. It didn't fit. Like it sounded like separated from the music. It didn't sound good tone wise. I didn't like how I guess, this part would be just on me. I didn't like how the rapping sounded. It just did not sound good. It just didn't fit them. It didn't
Is it
fit
because
them.
they're like such passionate lyrics and like it was almost like they were just doing it phonetically?
Have you listened to the
Yeah,
original one
probably what it
recently?
I love the original song. So, and I just
This is fucking
hold
crazy.
on, I want
dude.
to talk about the tour real quick. So while I was on tour, somebody covered this song, and that band did a great job. They actually played it with Taproot, which was interesting. Singer from Taproot, like not Trapped. Sorry, singer from Trapped did it with him, and they did a really good version of that cover of Stuck. So I when I went in to go listen to this, I was like, all right, let's give it a chance. I couldn't believe that they knew the song first off, because this is like when Limp Bizkit very first started, the very first album. And I don't know, it could be just because I'm a fan of that album and I do like that song. It didn't do it for me. That the cover was really, really bad.
So when it comes to like
Yeah,
the
but dude, you
vocals,
the music was great. The instruments were great. Everything sounded good, but I didn't like the vocals.
Vocals
It's
are not
the worst
good.
cover of the year.
I'm sorry, Mayu did not do a good job with the vocals at all.
Bullshit.
They were
That's
not
your
good.
opinion.
all right, I'm gonna meet you guys
I
in the
think
middle
Mayu
right
did a
here.
fantastic
I didn't remember the song, right? So I went back and I listened to the Limp Bizkit version first because I was like, "What the fuck is Stuck?" Right? And so
Me
this
too,
is a $3 bill, y'all. This is mad old, right? Like it wasn't even a single; it was a B-side. So I was like, "Okay." I listened to it and I was like, "Okay, it sounds like fucking Limp Bizkit, except he's screaming a lot more than he does a little later, right?" So I was like, "Oh, this actually makes sense for NEMOPHILA to do because it's got that new
Exactly.
metal style vibe, and then it's got the screaming in the chorus." So I was like, "Okay, this will work out." I like Alan. I always feel like their covers have some kind of like vocal separation from the rest of the track. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is a mixing thing, but I
And
always feel like they're lighter.
real quick, I thought this was going to be way better than the other covers because they have a music video. I was like, oh shit, they're going to go in. Like this isn't just like some off the cuff recording and throwing it together real quick and releasing videos. I was like, oh, they put time into this. So that's why I was like, oh, I can't wait. This is awesome. So I had a really high expectation also going into it.
So I wasn't nearly as disappointed as Alan was when I come into this because one, I don't have that expectation that he has, and I'm also pretty much used to like not really being a huge fan of the mixing on the vocals on the covers. That being said, I didn't think I actually thought that this was probably better than the normal sound when it came to her vocals on the covers. I didn't love the guy that was with her. I don't remember his name.
2 dudes from Rotten Grafty.
Yeah, they were really like they're very charismatic. Don't get me wrong.
I love Rotten Grafty, man. That's a good band.
It felt like they were putting like all of this like personality and charisma onto maybe moments that didn't necessarily deserve it. So I just like almost what Wave was saying before, like the phonetic retelling of the message maybe was getting lost in translation a little bit.
Okay, I just want to say this. It didn't work, but when you listen to Hanabi do the same type of thing as some of the stuff is phonetic also on there, it sounds really good in the Hanabi cover. They made it their own. It sounded great. I'm putting these two together because they're the most recent, and it's just an example of somebody that took a cover and like did it their own way and did a fantastic job. And I feel like if NEMOPHILA did it their own way, it would have been way better.
That's
I don't know.
Andrew brought up. Andrew mentioned this too, but this was my thought because I hadn't heard the original song. I listened to the NEMOPHILA cover first, and I kept waiting for like something interesting to happen musically because that's what I love about NEMOPHILA is they have such great composition. I know they could have taken this and like brought it to a next level with adding some cool guitar leads or something, but they just did the same guitar that's in the original song, just those 4 power chords. And it was cool the way they got like that soundscape with the guitar, the sound effects on the guitar during like the verses, the rapping. I did enjoy that a lot, but otherwise it just felt like there was nothing fresh about the cover from the original song to me.
And plus, when you hear the original, it has so many layers when it comes to guitar. But I mean, that's like a Wes Borland signature thing. That's why I thought if NEMOPHILA like did their own guitar thing, like they do with Style. Okay, I'll let you guys know what I was thinking when I was going in. I'm thinking, okay, they did a song like Style. They're doing Stuck. This completely makes sense. I cannot wait to hear this. This is going to sound, I'm thinking all these things. It's probably going to be in the style of that song style, but like doing it their own way. So when I heard it, I don't know. I was just like, wow, it wasn't good. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't get why people like it at all. Like, I absolutely don't. This is one of those songs I just don't and will not understand. There's songs I've heard that I think are bad, but I know that they're good. Like, I think they're bad, but I'm like, oh, but I know it is a good song and it sounds good. This is one of those moments that it's not like that for me. It's like, no, I just don't get why people like this one. I absolutely don't get it.
Well, let's ask Ryan. Why did you like it? Because clearly Ryan liked it the best out of the 4 of us.
Yeah, I thought it was great. So I listened to it. If you watch people on my live stream, I checked it out, and you'll know I'm not like just being contrarian to what Alan's saying. When I heard it first time, I was like, why is there guests on here? I didn't want to hear anybody else guesting on it, right? And it was a little, the accent was real heavy. I'm like, okay, that threw me off a little bit. I wanted to hear Mayu do those parts, and then later she did them. And as far as I'm concerned, just fucking killed it with them. And then when I listened to it again today, you can see my whole attitude kind of change. And I remember how Fred Durst did it. How he sang it was fucking ridiculous, like over the top and ridiculous. And that's what these guys are going for. And I think I was like, all right, no, I kind of understand what they're going for, and I get it. I don't know.
You have a hate
like the song
for Limp Bizkit, so you have like a special like hate for Limp Bizkit though, because you don't like them as people.
No, Fred Durst is a fucking douchebag, dude. That's my only problem with Limp Bizkit, and the lyrics are stupid. I mean, I just don't. The music I've dug. I like them. I listen to them a lot. $3 Bill is y'all's probably one of my most listened CDs I had because it was so freaking different. And I just got tired of hearing Fred bitch about his fucking girlfriends.
I
But
feel
like
like
some shit he was doing was I really liked what he did. And then
Mhm.
I don't know what you're not
I'm-
you don't like it. That's fine, dude. I like it more after I heard it again today. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, this cover's fucking badass. It gets the
Yeah.
heaviness, it gets the feel across, and it's just good.
Mind blowing.
I want to back up Ryan here on this one, honestly, because while I agree that like I didn't think that I agree with what Alan was saying about the vocal sounding almost disconnected. But like I said, I feel like that's almost always a problem with their covers. And this time, I felt like when she came in, I didn't have a problem with like her vocals in the chorus or the verse. I thought that they sounded more connected than usual, and I thought that her scream was pretty solid. Doing the Fred Durst scream in the chorus parts, and I like her style when she does the new metal rap stuff also. So I didn't like it as much as Ryan or dislike it as much as Alan, but I thought it was on the top half of their covers personally. But wait, where would you put it?
Well, man, this is tough because I feel like I totally understand why. I'm sorry, there's a bug on my keyboard. Why a NEMOPHILA fan would enjoy it, because it's basically NEMOPHILA doing karaoke of Limp Bizkit. There's okay, when you do compare it to the Hanabiye cover, Hanabiye took Believer and completely rewrote, recomposed it into a brand new song. That's maximum effort, and that's what I like about covers, when you can see the artists shine through.
Yes.
Because we know how much talent NEMOPHILA has. We know how much potential they have, and we love them. And that's why it's like, I wish this cover was more NEMOPHILA and less Limp Bizkit.
But what are they supposed to do that you wouldn't
Add
be like,
some
well, they
cool
changed the whole
riffs.
song?
Add some cool riffs instead of
Did you
just
listen
playing
to Hanabiye?
chords.
This is them.
It has a great example of that. Their Believer is a great example of how you can make a cover sound great and fit them.
They took they took a song that had no heaviness to it and made it a metal song. How are you supposed to do that with a Limp Bizkit song, which is already heavy as fuck? They just played a song of a band they loved, and they did it very well.
The chords into some type of interesting riff. That's all they would need to do.
And they're amazing shredders. They're amazing lead guitarists, can shred all day around West Portland. They could have incorporated some of that. NEMOPHILA could have done her like signature scream. Like Maya could have done her signature screams. Like from
how did she not do her signature scream?
It wasn't the same. Maybe it's the way they mixed that scream, but it wasn't good. I don't.
Is this any different than any other?
I don't want to say anything else for me.
But is this any different than any of their other covers? Because they never really add new parts to their covers.
That's what blows my mind. They did a whole fucking music video. I was like, wow. I was like, they're gonna do so much more extra production, and then they're releasing a cover album. So like in my mind, you're gonna do a cover album. This is gonna be, you're gonna put a lot of effort into it, like your originals, right?
Well, okay. I mean,
it'd be one thing if it sounded exactly like the original, but it doesn't.
I do think it sounds a little bit more different than most of the other stuff. Like when they did Walk, I thought it sounded just like Pantera's Walk, like to a T, like almost identical, except for the vocals were more disconnected. Well, this one felt like there was a little bit outside of Limp Bizkit charisma coming into it.
Yeah, they
did the exact same bass line as the original. They did the exact same guitar riff as the original, but the problem with the guitar riff is that in the original there's multiple layers of guitar, so they only kept in like I think 1 or 2 layers or something. So maybe that's what made it sound even more hollow than the original. I don't know, but
hollow is actually a good way to describe. I think
they had a good tone though. Like the NEMOPHILA tone was the guitar was great. Like that tone was awesome. Like what they were using and everything. But
I don't know, dude. I think what we're hearing is a band who I can imagine Hanaguchi loves that bass line. Why am I gonna fuck with it?
Oh yeah,
Tammy probably loves the drums because the drums are great, dude. That drummer is a badass drummer, and the guitars. That's what I don't know, dude. If you try and throw it, make it into something else. I understand wanting to do a little more, but also that whole era was if you just throw a bunch of shredding over it, it's just going to be like, I don't know. It's a band that did a cover of the band they dug, and I think it was good. You don't.
And
I
yeah,
guess that's where we're at.
I think if you know what you're like if you already know what NEMOPHILA does with their covers, and you went into this one like, you know, expecting it to be very different than the original, you were probably setting yourself up to be disappointed in that instance. Because after I listened to the Limp Bizkit version, I was kind of like, I kind of just expected it to sound like the Limp Bizkit version.
Right.
I didn't realize that they had other people featured on it also.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that the NEMOPHILA was the best part of it. I didn't like the features that much.
Stuff like this. When they do covers like this, I want to hear what My You sounds like, because I know the band's gonna, whatever they do, it's gonna sound great. But the vocals are what with System of a Down and Pantera and this, the vocals are so distinct that it all comes down kind of to My You is how different it sounds.
I agree. So then we didn't really talk about this one. I want to bring this up while we're talking about it. Did you guys listen to the Slipknot cover that they did?
Yeah.
Because I thought that was the best one that they've ever done, and I thought her vocals were incredible. I thought it was the heaviest song that she's ever done vocally. Like, her screams were brutal and
somebody
lasted the
requested
whole
it,
time.
If somebody requests it, I'll listen to it. But at this point, I'm just like, I'm just gonna keep listening to original music.
Well, it's all screaming. Remember, so like Sick is just screaming. There's
That's
no
true.
vocal. There's no clean singing in that song. So I found that interesting right off the bat, because the only other song where she does all screaming is Zen, right? And
Yeah.
Zen is a very different style of music than Slipknot, right? So this was the first time that she was doing like straight up like hardcore new metal screaming from beginning to end. And I thought that one, like every time I complained about the hollowness in her voice during their covers, was absolutely not a part of that cover. It was so full, it was so deep, and it was my favorite that they've ever done. I don't know if they changed the mixing or if it was just that it was all
I don't know.
screams.
All these covers are super challenging for anybody to cover, really. I mean, not just her, just because the singer is like the key to the sound of these bands, like one of the major keys.
Uh-huh. Yes, I agree. And that's a big thing. And that's been kind of, again, like, you could go back to, I'll always go back to that Walk cover, and I'll say they sounded exactly the same as Pantera, the band did, but her vocals sounded like kind of tinny for whatever reason. It's so crazy that I don't even want to like criticize her. She's my favorite vocalist.
Yeah, I didn't like that cover either, man. But I think I wanted to hear more of the grit from her on that song. It just wasn't there.
The Slipknot one is promising. I just listened to a clip of it. That sounds pretty good.
Dude,
they don't solo over it though, so you probably won't like it.
No,
there's no solos and stuff, so you probably won't like it.
Missed my point. That's not what I was saying. It's
the funniest part about that criticism is that before we started the
right.
podcast, Alan was like, "I'm so sick of solos, man." Now Ryan's like, "You don't like it unless there's a solo." So it's like the opposite. No, I feel you, Alan. I'm always going to be a proponent of them changing the, you know, like what we were saying, also adjusting it to be a little bit more NEMOPHILA and less whatever the original was. Obviously, they have a different take.
And what I said about the solo was like, I'm sick of the same old solo. So yeah, if it's just a same old solo, yeah, I'll probably be like, oh, it's okay. It's just like a decoration at that point, you know? Because the solo that we heard earlier was like just refreshing because it was unique, catchy, gets stuck in your head, which a lot of people don't do anymore for like leads and solos.
Again, that was in that Hote Anna the End collab.
Yeah, the INN collab. That was really good.
But yeah, for me, just to sum up my thoughts on it, I thought it was fine. I enjoyed listening to it, but it just didn't. And someone mentioned too, they never really do recompose music. They just kind of perform it. And I didn't care as much with the System of a Down cover because that, System of a Down's already so metal. But to me, Limp Bizkit's not really metal. It's just, they use guitars to make it sound heavy. So like hearing NEMOPHILA play something that didn't feel like metal at all, just playing chords, it was just, it's not what I have come to NEMOPHILA for in the past to listen to, So.
Yeah. See, Okay. Here's my big argument against what's happening here, and I think it kind of goes along the lines of what Alan was saying. It sounds like we're kind of like we're scaled on this, right? Like Alan liked it the least, and then like probably their covers in general, right? And then like maybe Wave liked it a little more, and I liked it a little more than that, and Ryan liked it a little more than that. But like I do feel like it is a little strange that like I felt like a lot of what they were doing when they were doing the covers and they weren't releasing as much new music, like when they're putting out those covers between the music that they were releasing, was a cool sort of like little fun thing that they were doing. But now that they're making an actual album out of it and
That's
music
what I
videos
mean.
out
And
of
a
it,
full music video.
there
Yeah.
are a little higher expectations than normal, I think, rather than it just being like a garage replication that you're going to do, right? So I could see people being a little bit disappointed that they didn't add a little bit more of their own flavor into it.
Yeah. Well, and to like contrast them like with when we do covers, they have found their sound, they've found their audience, they have music videos with millions of views. They know who they are already. Like
That's a good point.
when I do covers, I still haven't found a sound that clicks with an audience. So I'm not going to try to, you know, what's
They
the
didn't
point
play
of
them the
you
way they
think
did
that
by
sounds
accident.
like it doesn't? I don't. Are you saying like that cover that sounds like NEMOPHILA?
Huh? No,
Are
I'm
you saying
talking
that?
about how like they've established a pretty massive audience with their sound already.
Yeah.
So like for them to make a note for note cover, it's a little different than for someone who hasn't found an audience yet making covers, you know?
Hmm.
That's just my opinion. But
Yeah, it feels like they had like a purpose behind it before, which would like made sense that it was going to be sort of like I don't want to say half-assed because that's not what it was. It's just like sort of like a one-to-one copy, and maybe if they're taking it a little more seriously, I'm gonna respond to it a little bit more seriously, right? And then therefore the criticism is going to get a little bit stronger. I think that's where Alan is coming from at this point, also. But I didn't dislike it as much as he did, honestly. And I've been like pretty like 50-50 on this album in general, like the song releases that we've heard. I will say 100% Sick, Slipknot, the best one on the album from my
Yeah,
perspective.
from what I've heard already, I listened to 15 seconds just to get the screaming. I like how that screaming's mixed into it too. The mix sounds better also.
Yeah, 100%. That was the other thing. Like, why does the mix on her vocals sound so deep and impactful on that one in comparison to some of the other ones where it feels
Maybe
a
they're
little
not
bit lower?
Or if they
changing.
got different producers or what's going on with this.
Yeah, that's
with
what I'm
the
trying to
album.
look for. I'm seeing if they have different producers or something. But their
Yeah.
covers have been pretty consistent. The ones where they just like film and then they just throw it into a DAW pretty much. There's recording it as is. Yeah, but oh yeah, there's different composers on these. So for
Okay.
Sick, like you have, it says, I don't know if this is accurate or just something auto, but Michael Sean.
Interesting.
Oh, this is from the original song. Never mind. All right, it's just
Okay.
it's auto generated. Never mind. It doesn't show
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, it would be weird if they actually had different not composers. Like I could see why you would have different composers working on different tracks, but like the actual mixers, like the
Producers.
production team, it's kind of weird if you would be switching it up from song to song on the same like 6-song
You know,
album.
maybe since they got guest stars on it from Rock Grafty, maybe their producers want to be attached. We don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's true. Could be
I don't
anything.
know. After we beat this to death, guys, want to move on to Hanabiye?
Sure. I haven't listened to that one yet, so I'm gonna let
You
guys
haven't listened to
handle
it
this. I didn't even realize we were supposed to be talking about this one.
Oh,
we kind of
Yeah.
talked about it a bit already, didn't we?
Yeah, the Hanabi cover was awesome. That was fucking great. I'm releasing my
Yeah.
reaction to it today. That was really good. I love how when they do the chorus for it, a different part of the chorus is catchy to me in Hanabi's version more than the original. But in the original, they have something that's catchy to me that's different from the Hanabi version. And it's the pain part when Matsuri screams out like pain. The way she sings that is so catchy. But like in the original, it's the believer part that's catchy. So it's really interesting. Like the
Yeah.
way that Matsuri sings is so awesome.
Cool.
I really liked it. I mean, I heard the original a million times as part of a movie. Then it was on a soundtrack that we were on vacation and driving, and we listened to it over and over. I liked it, but then as soon as I heard another song, but then I'm like, oh, this is what they do. all the time. Imagine
Oh,
Dragons.
really?
Yeah.
I had heard this. I had heard the original in passing, you know, like I
Yeah.
definitely have heard it, but this time I actually took I had the headphones on and I'm like, you know what, Eric, let's go ahead and listen to the original all the way through. And I was really fucking impressed with how they mixed that song. That is, if you have a chance, Ryan, put on headphones, listen to a song. It is
I
incredible.
did. I got a video up for it already.
Oh, you do? Yeah, it is incredible. The original. And then when you hear Hanabi's
not the
mix of
original. My
it,
bad.
oh yeah, I was talking about the original. The
Okay,
original is a lot better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I
I never. I've
actually
seen that's
covered
something
that
was.
in the past because I liked it so
Oh,
much.
did you? Like
But
in the car, I've heard it. Like I never sat and listened to it like I do with music now. So that would be cool to do.
Yeah. Ryan, I'm telling you, check it out in headphones. There's some stuff in there. I was like, what? I was like, what are they doing? It gave me mixing ideas. Like immediately, I was like, I started writing down. I wrote down notes after our stream. I'm like, dude, I don't want to forget what I just heard in this. That's really good.
And personally, I'm not a big fan of clean vocals with a growl like harmony or whatever underneath, which they did in that song, but they left like part of the chorus just to Matsuri, which I loved. Where the second part of that chorus, they left just to her. And once I heard that, I was like, fucking sweet, dude. So yeah, it was super fun. I can't imagine they were just having a blast trying to figure out how to do it and record it.
Yeah. I do enjoy the more spaced out, powerful drums like in the original song. But those drums in their cover were freaking insane.
Dude, Chica's a beast.
Yeah.
She hits so freaking hard, dude. I swear to God, when I saw him in concert, I was hearing the kit over the fucking PA. She was playing so hard.
Yeah, we isolated the tracks for the vocals on that song, and holy shit, the amount of layers they put with the vocals to make it sound like so full, so in your face is like it's amazing. And then we did just the instrumental, and the instrumental is heavy as fuck. Like it's so good.
The original?
I think it's one of their heaviest songs. No, Hanabi, their version of it. We isolate all the tracks to it, and I think it's probably one of their heaviest, which is wild because it's not even the original is not even a heavy song. Yeah.
It's not. It's like the opposite of everything that I like about pop music nowadays, actually. So if you guys are really telling me that this is a good version, then I'm very excited about it.
And honestly, I don't mind the original. I really enjoyed the original because I've always heard the chorus in passing, like I said. But when I actually sat down and listened to it, I'm like, this is actually a really fucking good pop song. I was like, well written, well produced, like just amazing all around.
I think I dislike the original more for like what it means versus what it actually sounds like, which is like the kind of movement from rock-ish bands like that we had like 10 years ago or whatever, like Fall Out Boy and when Imagine Dragons, when they were playing with like their guitars and drums, to moving into a more like symphonic kind of keyboard heavy sound, which a believer is, and I just that bums me out,
Yeah, I know. I had high hopes for Imagine Dragons when I first heard them, that they were bringing like rock to pop music, but
it just became pop music.
Yeah.
They just slowly got rid of the rock.
So they sound like that for every song on that Imagine Dragons song. Like the other songs sound just like that one.
I don't know. I've only heard their popular
with everything
stuff.
I've heard. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that I haven't delved into whatever albums they have, but everything I've heard is like, okay, there's going to be a big beat, spacious vocals, and then it might imply heaviness, but it's not really there. And then it's going to,
Because I was actually considering checking them out just because of the production was phenomenal. It was really good.
I agree with. The production is actually crazy.
Yeah, it might appeal to you.
But that's like
5 or 6 songs, you'd be like, okay.
Good production in pop music is like really common. So
it's pretty high budge.
Yeah, like
that's all it is. Good production, not a lot of musicianship.
But okay, hear my standpoint on this though. For a pop song in like that, most pop songs don't have that many intricate layers and musicianship, like as far as like the way that it developed. You have the chorus that keeps playing over and over again. So yeah, I understand that can get annoying after a while. I can see how hearing that a lot of times. But as far as a song being like other pop songs, I don't feel like have that, like they're produced really well, but it's very simple to like a beat and maybe a guitar riff here and there, like you know what I mean, and it's very simplistic.
So you're like telling me Believer is like a complex musical song.
In the production standpoint, they put some love into it, you know.
Hey,
Like
they
there's
do
some
all
shit
those
going
big
on.
swells and make it sound massive.
Yeah, like
It's
the
all
synth
production
bass
There's
stuff.
a
is
lot of
pretty good.
headroom in the song, like to make the drums sound massive.
I think
I do like
It's
that.
different than the other pop songs. I felt like it. Maybe I
well,
was just
it's a different like when we talk about pop, right? Like we're talking about a different genre of pop. Like this is a subsidiary. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Subsection of the genre, which is like leaning towards, again, like I brought up Fall Out Boy, right? Like Fall Out Boy went from being like a pop punk band to being this exact style of band where it's like this epic sort of stadium feel, right? Like this is the type of song that you're going to hear
Yeah.
at like an arena for like a football game, right? Like this is the kind of music that they started writing. And I feel like yes, that's going to have a different style of production than like let's say Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande is going to have, or even like a Chris Brown or something in the R&B world, closer to the R&B pop world. But and it sounds cool when you do that stuff with more rockish stuff because you don't hear it as often, but it also takes away from how rock it actually could have been. Well, you know, the more production that
yeah.
you add to it, the less rock it becomes.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
like
just
the
prefer
same
that they go.
trajectory as Panic at the Disco.
Yes, yes,
They went
exactly. That was
from
the
super
other one that I was trying to
experimental-
think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So there's these like it just kind of like that song like almost is like the signifier for me of like when those pop punk bands started becoming radio friendly pop bands instead, and it's just such a bummer. I just want the I can't believe like 10 years ago I was complaining about how like rock was gone, and I was just like, listen to all this fucking pop punk garbage like Fall Out Boy on the radio, and now I'm just like begging for the days of having the regular Fall Out Boy that I liked back then
Yeah.
back again.
Sugar, we're going down.
All right, right on. Did you guys listen to the other songs?
Hell yeah.
What about Broken by the Scream?
Oh, this was my song that I wanted people to listen to. So
Yeah?
I'll let you guys talk about this before I do then.
Yes.
What were my notes here? My notes are it's a miss for me. It sounds like a parody of itself. The solo section was great.
Wow. All right.
I guess what I mean is like what the heavy shit was super heavy, the poppy stuff was super poppy, and like is that the goal? I don't know. It seems like they're just doing extremes, like here's what we can do, and then it's like okay.
It
So I
did.
don't know.
It felt very prog metal to me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember their stuff being so proggy, but it's been a long time since I've heard them. But I think that's kind of their thing. Like they contrast idle vocals with the heavy screaming stuff, and I think that's where they get their name, Broken by the Scream.
Right. So I don't know.
I
I can see it definitely appealing if like that's what you want to hear. It's fucking perfect. But if you're just looking like something to listen to, it's like fuck.
Dude, I thought the composition was cool. Like the random funky change up at the end, and
Yeah.
then like that super prog, insane metal ending. It's
Yeah,
just
it
like
might
what
just
the
be-
heck?
Might just not have been the right day for me.
Alan, did you listen to this one?
that one I didn't. I was like looking at my playlist, so I'm like, where was this song? I'm so sorry, man. I did not hear it.
That's a bummer.
I
All
wasn't-
right, well, that's-
I want to say this. I wasn't a fan of the Broken by the Scream when you remember we did the reaction to it.
yeah.
Camp absolutely loved it during that reaction. And I could not stand it. So
Well, I mostly picked this one because I thought you were gonna like it the most. So it's unfortunately that you
damn
didn't listen. But I'll talk about it from my perspective at least. This was easily the best Broken by the Scream song that they've ever written. I don't know what the hell Ryan is talking about right now. I absolutely loved every second of it. It was, like Wave said, super proggy, but so fucking heavy. The metal riffs that started off the song, like right off the bat, just like just crazy ass shit. Like Ryan said, awesome solo section. I was unaware that the band from Broken by the Scream was as good as they were until I listened to this song. I've heard them do
Same.
cool shit before, but this was like top tier, like metal band, fucking Love Bites speed on the solo. Like I was just like, this is nasty. And yes, the chorus is very poppy. It is as poppy as you can get, especially coming from as heavy as it was before. But I did think that the poppiness was kind of kept to the chorus, and like the rest of it was just basically a metal song until that funky part at the end that Wave was talking about. But like when we're talking
Holy
about just like
shit, real quick. I'm listening to it now.
I figured.
This is amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
It's definitely impressive. Like, I'm not trying to say to like dig on them at all as a band. It's just not. There's things that you always hear me, the fucking key changes, and then just going.
Just
Sometimes,
unnecessary.
man, I just don't want to fucking
stuff.
hear it, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
The drums are fucking sick right out the gate, like with that full sound and that scream. I don't remember them sounding like this.
The two screamers. So the two screamers were featured on this probably more than they ever have been before in any of the music that I've heard. And going back and forth with the growls and the high pitched screamer, like I mean, I've heard them do this, but not for these extended portions of time like they did in this song, which was basically just the whole song except for the chorus.
Now the chorus, I'm not. It'll take me a second to get used to, man. I don't know. It's a little twinkly.
Well, yeah, it was my least favorite part of the song, but I didn't care.
The low scream was so fucking good.
Oh my god, her growl,
amazing.
Bro.
Yes.
Oh, her growl is so fucking thick.
Yeah.
That's kind of their thing that, like, aren't they technically an anti-idol band?
Well, they're, I guess. I mean,
that's like Jaluka quality screams right there, bro. Like,
I know she's gotten better, man. I'm telling you, she's gotten better since the last time that I listened to her. And like, so I usually compare them to like Passcode, right? Because like as Ryan says, there's like this really, it's fast, but there's also this very like we're super metal right here, and then we're super poppy right here, like right next to each other. Right?
I think I prefer this more than Passcode.
Okay, so so I think that the difference with this song is that instead of there being these like multiple sections where it goes back and forth like most Passcode songs and the other Broken by the Scream songs that I've heard, where it's like pop metal, pop metal, pop metal, pop metal, I got this one was more impression of like metal, pop, metal, little pop, and then over. And I was like, this is fucking cool, man. So I loved it personally.
Right on.
Sweet.
I was just waiting for the.
I gotta say, this is way different than the one we checked out on stream. Like, you have a full sounding mix. First off, I think when we listened to the other one, it was really thin sounding, you know. But I could get the cleans will grow on me. Like, they're not even that like they're good. It's just so interesting to hear that blast beat while she's doing the clean vocals.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you've got that super fast double bass pedal during the chorus.
So wild. So wild.
They didn't want to drop the metal completely. You know, they were like, we're gonna stay metal for the whole song, but we're gonna add the pop to it. Yeah, I most of the time I find more pop in these songs, and this time I found more metal, so it was right up my alley.
I'll drop the playlist for everybody in the chat too right now of the songs that we're talking about, guys. Here's the playlist right here.
Yeah, hell yeah. And if you guys are still hanging in here, could you please hit that like button, man? We've been up to like 150 viewers here, and we only got 70 likes, and that's just not cool, man.
Maybe they don't like the video, champ. Maybe they hate
it. Then let's turn it off. Fuck
yeah,
them.
Just like the video. It's funny because this stream we started off with like half dislikes just because of the title. Is hilarious.
I need to piss. Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. People like judging it before they even heard what we had to say. I'm like, settle down.
Okay, well, what's the next song on our list, guys?
Velvet Size.
Just
great.
That's insane song.
This was the Ryan choice.
You like that?
Yeah.
Dude, so
I love it,
remember earlier in the stream when we were talking about how like, oh no, this was the Patreon video where we were like, I said, I feel like half the music that we heard today kind of sounds like it's from the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, this was the first song that I listened to today where I was like, this is a 1994 single right here.
Yeah, dude.
This was my favorite off the list, other than the Believer cover. For original music, is my favorite off the list, hands down. It was so fucking good.
Oh.
Those bass lines were just mwah.
Did anyone already mention Glim Spanky?
What about him?
Oh, her voice, that smoky, like if you like her
like
voice.
She sounds like Remy?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we just started talking about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about how bad I have to pee.
Wait, go pee, bro.
Can you guys wait for me? Can you guys talk about something else?
Just go ahead, man.
All
we'll
right,
just talk about you.
We'll talk about how everyone needs to hit the like or dislike button.
And sometimes you gotta go pee, you know.
I mean, if it takes them longer than 3 minutes to pee,
don't hold it too long. You can cause problems.
Let's keep talking about it.
And just you gotta go. You know.
All right,
Yeah.
so I thought that this song again, like I can't believe we mentioned them last week, but I sort of got this sounded post grunge to me, right? Like it had like that post grunge feeling.
Way more technical. That dude, no grunge bands were doing those bass lines.
The bass line was definitely more.
I'm sorry, I'm referring
there
to
was
the
more
bass
going on.
and stuff like that's
Okay.
technical.
Yeah, I was focusing, I guess, a little bit more on the guitars, which it was just one guitar, right? I don't know. There wasn't. I just listened to the song. I don't know if there was a music video, but it sounded like there was just one guitar. Anybody?
I think
No?
so. I think so. I don't know,
I
man.
love
heard
the
on my-
tone.
yeah. Tone of the
I-
bass is great. It drove the song, much like I mean, you mentioned grunge. Nirvana songs are like that. Chris Novoselic is really underrated as a bass player. I think a lot of melodies people come away with from those songs are from Chris and what he does on the bass as opposed to the guitar and the lyrics. But so yeah, man, I really dug the song. Just that her voice is just really cool. Had a little bit of an edge to it. The music is super solid. It's just a great fucking song, dude.
Definitely a lot of rasp in her voice, especially when she goes
Yeah.
into those belt notes. It was
Yeah,
like
just a
very,
cool-
very. Yeah, and it reminded me a little bit of Gatrick Spin, in fact, where it was like it wasn't trying as hard to be like it was focusing more on the personality and the charisma of the voice rather than just being like, I just want to make sure I hit this note properly. It was more like you had this oomph to it that I really appreciated it. It had a
Yeah.
rawness to it.
Dude, this band has 653 subscribers.
I know. I was about to mention they haven't put anything up for over a year.
Yeah,
which is a little disheartening.
a little worrying. I wish there was more.
Yeah. Now they do have other tracks out there, and they have a version of themselves doing this live up there, like an official version of them doing live, which I haven't listened to yet, but I do really want to hear what her voice sounds like. Doing it
this
in a
song
live
was
setting.
4 years ago.
Yeah. This one's not new. They have a couple other singles since then, I believe, also.
And these aren't like these aren't like new bands. It's all new stuff. This is just stuff that we heard this week that we want to share. And we just happen to have some new releases on it. This is just a band I heard on my own channel. I'm like, dude, this is a freaking cool song.
Well, according to their channel, it looks like they're releasing songs every year. So I guess if we could possibly see some new music from them soon, because if you look at their videos, it's all a year apart. So they like wait a year in between. So they started 4 years ago. They had a bunch of videos they put out in the first year, and they do the same thing on the third year. And so it seems like a pattern. So who knows? They might. I think they are still together, and we might get new stuff soon if they follow this track record.
Where are they sitting for subs?
653.
Oh,
Let's make it more.
If
right
everyone that watches this goes and subs, they can finally monetize for their next video.
Yeah, and I'm telling you guys, like in the chat, like most of you are gonna dig this. I think, like considering what we talk about a lot. Yeah, it's definitely very solid. It's definitely unique, and it's just got a cool vibe to it, man. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, like I'm blown away by the musicianship or anything like that, but I was like, this doesn't sound like anything that's being produced today, right now. Like, and I dig that right off the bat, and they've definitely got their own thing. So
I guess I am a little nervous because their website doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, saw it too. I was like, God damn it.
I kind of pulled up, and the last thing they put out was November 9th, 2022 on Instagram, and that sucks.
Well, maybe if they get like a surge of love, maybe
guys, let's get the band back together.
I mean, it would be hard to keep pushing, you know, like with 650 subs, like over 4 years, you're gonna get annoyed.
I've given up so many times, and I just made a new album, so you know.
True.
Give this band some loves. Maybe they'll be like, why are we getting subscribers?
Yeah, you know, there's still that one band member that's checking like every week just to see like did anything happen.
I hope so.
Yeah, everybody go on there and watch that video, give it a like,
dude,
give them a
it sounded freaking great, and like all the facets of it. Her voice was amazing, the way she held out her notes, and then the bass work too. It like holds really steady, provides that solid basis, but then it like finds the little gaps that open up in the vocals and stuff to like just go nuts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's pretty
maybe it just takes them a year to build up the amount of money that they need to film a music video.
Could be. Did anyone get like Pearl Jam vibes at all?
Yeah, that's what I was saying when you left. A post grunge
really?
sound. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it felt totally like 1993, 1994, like one of those like alt rock post grunge bands coming out, and doing something like that. Especially the tone of the guitar, man. Like I know I mentioned Toadies last week, but I'm going to mention them again now. It sounded like Toadies.
I
Yeah,
gotta
dude.
really check out the Toadies.
I just pulled up a live for their song called Down, and it's very. You mentioned Pearl Jam right when I was listening to it. I'm like, yeah, this sounds like fucking Pearl Jam.
Ah, okay.
Pearl Jam, but with cute vocals.
Not
Would
cute,
you even
man. They're
call
just
her
good.
cute, man? She's like raspy.
She's cute. Vocals are just great.
Yeah, definitely worth listening to. Do we have anything else? We have one more song, I think. That we checked out?
My song.
Which one was that?
The new Gottschalk Spin song.
Ah, of course.
Yes.
So the most recent song that's come out.
Yes.
Baku Baku.
Alan, we can't hear you, bud.
We reacted to that on stream, and it's probably one of my favorite songs by them.
Really?
Yeah.
Talk
really
about it.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting how there's like, when she does the higher note, like at the end, it reminded me of Doll's Box, that one, like their main single.
Oh, like the slide?
Yeah, when she does the vibrato or whatnot, it
Yeah.
reminded me of Doll's Box for a second. But it was catchy. It was enough weird to keep me interested, and it was catchy at the same time. And I think this is a song that could like connect with a lot more people. Also,
I hope
it's one of my
so.
favorites. I enjoyed it.
That's awesome, man.
Apparently, I guess people were looking at the comments, and there's it's kind of divided too about where they are now, and people like their old stuff, aren't too thrilled with how they're going, which I don't get.
In what sense?
Well, it's like since Angie joined, I think, and I think I may have alluded to this because I think since Angie joined, they've kind of it seems to me like they finally got found where they want to be. Like not that they're doing the same shit over and over, just there's a little more consistency through the songs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not that
I agree.
Not that they're not doing stuff creatively. They're still doing like whatever the hell they want. But I think it's a little less, the swings are less between each song, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of like what we were talking about with NEMOPHILA last week, where you do want some type of through line in the music
and what we were
style.
just talking about with Passcode and Broken by the Scream also. I agree, and I think that you're absolutely right. You, like Ryan, you just articulated exactly what my main impression from the song was, which is that I feel like a lot of their music, like the highs and the lows, and I don't mean quality wise, but just sound wise, the highs and the lows were very prevalent throughout the course of the song, not just from song to song. And this one felt way more like neutralized, right? And we didn't have to get rid of any of the crazy technical playing. I mean, the bassist is so fucking good, dude. Like, what's the bassist's name?
Koga.
God damn it, dude. Like, she just stole my heart in this song. Like, as soon as the first like bass lick came in where everything else was gone, I just went, okay, you got me. You got me right here. But that was my favorite part of the song, just listening to her bass. But I do think that there was like definitely a nice neutralized consistency to it, where it sounded more like a song and less like an art project, which is I think some people can get. I think some people get turned off when it sounds a little bit like too much like an art project. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ironic, given like the behind the scenes of the album cover making.
Explain.
It was because it was like a literal art project.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I forget what I was doing. I was talking about them after the show or something, but I thought maybe because they're so creative and so diverse that might limit their appeal to more fans. Like they have a core group of fans, they're never going to get rid of them. But it also, a casual listening gets difficult when you have a band that's like all over the place, right? I think now there's kind of a core. There's like a core to the band now, because the band's been through a lot of changes. They've had members that have left, that have passed away, sadly, and they've had members that Hannah's been on bass, or not on bass. She's been on guitar. She's been on drums. She's just sang. She does whatever she wants to do. But now it's like these last few times, it's been Hannah is singing and she's playing guitar, and she's sharing lead work too with Tomozo, and you still get the three main vocals, but they all sing, and it's just like they're like, oh, we finally got it. That's what it seems like to me.
You think they
yeah,
found their vibe? Like they found the
Yeah.
Gatrick spin vibe.
Yeah,
and
like
they
they're
keep,
happy.
it seems
Yeah.
like they keep getting better at composing their choruses to feature all three of the singers too.
I
Like,
love that,
it was
man.
just so smooth the way like they were trading off Angie and Hannah, and then Oreo got in there too. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
this is exactly what I want.
I would gladly listen to Angie sing like the whole time because she's amazing. But I love hearing all three of them. It's because they're all so good.
Yeah.
They're all still
And they got
different
their
too.
own styles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need them all personally. I will say, like, and this is a personal preference thing because I agree with everything that we just talked about. But I do like the highs and lows of these bands, which is one of the reasons why I love that Broken by the Scream song. It's one of the reasons why I love Passcode so much. You know, I really do enjoy when I personally, right? And I'm not speaking for everybody. I enjoy the art project vibe, right? So while this did, it sounded more like a song. It wasn't like my favorite of theirs. And so I could see why the fans from like yesteryear might be a little bit like, oh man, they're going in a direction that maybe sounds a little bit more like mainstream, maybe sounds a little bit more palatable for the people that haven't listened to them yet. Because I personally like some of their older stuff better. But if you're talking about them just like coming into their own as a band and finding their sound, I agree with you 100% that they have done that now.
Like with their recent 4 songs, like you hear one, you hear the last one, you know immediately it's the same band. Some of the older stuff, you'd be like, who the fuck? What is this? Like it could sound like a completely different band, which I think was some of the appeal before, which some people may dig that. Which I can see if that's like why you got into them. It'd be like, oh well, I mean it's a different thing now, but I don't know. They still play those songs though. That's what's cool. If you go see them live, they still play that shit.
That's good. That's
And
important.
the cool thing is
to me,
Angie
yeah.
knows every word to everybody's part. She sings the whole
Yeah,
time.
she's
If she's
always
on mic or
singing.
not, she's running around. She's singing every line, dude.
She's a fan. She's a fan
Yeah,
of them.
she
Yeah.
really is. So yeah, it's an amazing. If you can see Gottschalk spin live, do it.
I totally want to. They're definitely like one of those bands that are on my short list for goddamn, they're going to be crazy to see live.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go to Japan just to see them again.
They just had a show for Oreo's birthday because they do a special show for each one of their birthdays. And I got to see Tomozo's and then Boje-san, who's just big in the community, went to see it, and he has some commentary on the Discords about what it was like and what they talked about and stuff. Which I saw that show with Tyler when I was in Japan, and neither one of us speak Japanese. We didn't really have like a Japanese companion with us, so the whole show it was like 40% talking. Entertaining still, but I have no idea what the fuck they talked about. I would really like to know.
All right. Well, I think that's all the songs for the week, right?
Yeah.
Should we move on to the top 10
Alan's
then?
done.
Alan was like, it's 4:00, guys. I'm
He's
going
done.
home.
I'm out of here.
I'm going home.
Top 10.
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
pull up
top
that
10, what do we
top
got here?
10. I think most of it stayed the same. I believe there was only like one new top 10, new in the top 10.
You got it up, champ?
I don't, but I do have
Okay, I
the
got it.
new entries of the week pulled up right now,
Okay.
which is at number 29, we got Unicorn with OAW or OW. And maybe that's just ow in Japanese. And then 25 is 10 Feet.
We've heard that.
Equation. We've heard the band 10 Feet was on our top 10 for a while, but not this song, I don't think.
Okay.
This is a new song from them. We might have even done a reaction to 10 Feet. I don't recall, but they were definitely on there for a while. So those are the only two new entries onto the overall list this week. Let's move on to the next one.
Milestones.
Milestones.
You got it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got the milestones. So Yama doing the song Slash has hit 5 million views this week.
Wow.
Baby Metal with Metal Kingdom has hit 3 million, and Ave Mujica has hit 1 million. So we got some big ones in here.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Views.
Yeah, Yama was on our list for a long time too. I think they've moved off at this point.
I can't wait to hear you read all these names and songs, champ. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Oof. Oof. I'm looking forward to it too, I guess. All right, let's move on
are
to
the
the
designated-
main top 10 then. All right. So I'm reading this off the screen, guys. So we've got, oh God, this is where we're starting, huh?
Yeah.
All right. With number 10, Sendai Kamotsu doing Ihanaika.
It's not
Oh, it's
Spanish, dude.
Ihanaika. 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 That's it. Yeah. Was I
Good enough for
anywhere
me.
close on that one?
Ijanika. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay. All right. So that's
Not like
number
I'm
10.
a fucking professional or
And
anything.
Yeah, and they were number 10 last week also, no change for them.
All right.
All right. Andrew, on to number 9, my friend. We've got Julika with Venom. So this was one that this was the one that Alan was freaking in love with.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just listened to this one on my live stream Friday.
Ooh, say something.
Well, there were cool parts. in it.
Well, you know,
Very
when
cool parts.
Wave starts with it's
Well.
not going to be followed with anything positive.
The dynamic range. Maybe Alan will pop out of nowhere once I start talking about this, but like,
Let's just
it
not
was-
let him talk about this band.
It was so compressed. Like, it felt like half the time it was not music, but
Oh,
that's just my taste.
wow.
Well, it's also like really fucking heavy, and we know Wave is
Yeah.
not the biggest fan of like the
Yeah.
just hardcore music. Right? This is a hardcore song.
7 albums and 6 singles.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I wonder why they didn't put an album out for one of their. I mean, a single out for one of their albums. Interesting. All right.
I was
well,
just shocked because Alan's the big mix guy, and I thought it was like one of the worst mixes I've ever heard.
Ooh. Damn it, Alan, get back here, bro. We need to have the battle.
Right.
All right, looks like they stayed the same at number 9 also. Okay, so number 8, we have, it looks like they've moved down,
Oh.
so that's one spot?
Down 1.
Yeah, down 1. Tomiyasu Hotai, and oh, this is the one we just did.
Yeah.
All right, this is the Patreon song that
I
we
was
did.
waiting for you to realize.
All right, so this is the one that we actually checked out on our Patreon this week. This is Tomiyase Hotai, the song Andromeda featuring Aina the End, which was fucking amazing.
This is
So,
a really, really cool song, man.
It's so interesting and unique. Just like it's not. I don't think it's really any of our kinds of like music. Like just like it's like the kind of music that we generally turn on and listen to.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so, but dude, it was so interesting.
Yeah, but we all liked it anyway,
like
and that
Billy
just goes to show
Idol
you how great
meets-
it is.
There was just so much difference in like, so you have a song where on the surface it's a great pop song, right? It's easy, it's candy for the ears, and then you start listening to it and it's one of those things like a lot of the bands we love, that's the appeal of a lot of them. But then you look into it, it's like, wow, there's some really interesting good things going on with guitar, with drums, and with their vocals especially. Yeah, it was just, the more you looked at it, the more interesting it got. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that 100% also. And it was so fun to just be like, oh, this part kind of reminds me of this, and then this part kind of reminds me of that, but never did it feel like they were trying to replicate anything besides
Right.
just being themselves and having
Yeah.
some inspiration from other bands. Yeah, great stuff. So
Aina
they're
is
they're
such
down
a
1 at number 8.
gem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
she's
gotta
super-
So
listen.
unique.
Super
Good
hot
on her
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
True.
Super hot. Okay, so now to number 7.
New.
Brand new on the list. We have got My Go. Is that what it
That's
says?
My Go.
My Go.
It's got 5 exclamation points, dude.
Yeah.
It's like my
My
cabbages.
And it's called Let's Sing, Let's Ring.
That sounds nice.
Haven't heard this one. I am 100%. I would throw all of my money on the fact that since it debuted at number 7 on our list, it is for an anime somewhere.
It's Bang Dream franchise. So
Bang
Oh,
Dream.
yep.
Shocker.
Okay.
you got it there.
That explains the exclamation points.
Yeah, they're an all-girl band, and the group consists of 5 members: Takamatsu, Tamori on the vocals, Chihaya Anan on the rhythm guitar, Konami Rana on lead guitar, Nagasaki Soyo on bass, and Shinataki on drums. A band born from the synchronization of reality and virtual.
Man, they are with it.
Cool.
Yeah, hardcore. All right, I
Nice.
haven't heard them. Don't know what they sound like. We'll check them out at some point, I'm sure. Let's go on to number 6. All right, number 6. This is the one that we did last week for Patreon. This is
it
WMD
is.
with stars. Yeah, we talked about this
Odd.
last week a lot. So if you want to hear more about like our thoughts on it, we talked about it during the top 10 last week. Or go to our Patreon, see our full reaction, the group reaction that we did. It was really cool. Webbing off duckling.
Or wad.
Or wad. Okay, and they are down 1 at number 6. And then we've got at number 5, Maximum the Hormone
Down
with
2.
Koino America, down 2. Yep. And
Once they
Yeah.
released the lyrics,
yeah, they released the lyrics and started dropping on our list. But I still, hey, have you guys, because I know me and Alan listened to it. Wave, you still haven't heard it, and Ryan, you heard parts, right?
Yeah, I haven't listened to the whole thing yet.
Dude, it is time for both of y'all to listen to the song. Why don't you trust me when I tell you that it's a good song?
I
don't even
just
care if
doing
you
other
record
shit,
it.
man.
Just watch it.
yeah,
Just
I've
listen
been
to
trying,
it.
A thousand
I've
other
been trying to
requests I gotta
finish
do.
this album before the baby shows up.
Right
Oh,
music,
yeah.
got other requests
That's
to do. I
been my
can't do what you
focus.
want.
Yeah, I'm sure every time you get into the car, you just sit in silence, and right, like you don't have any time to drive around and listen to
That's
Koino
when I
America.
listen to Bandmade. Okay.
Fair enough.
My car only has a CD player. I can't listen to anything else.
Damn, really? My car doesn't have a CD player. Like that
It's
is
my
a mind
only
trip
CD
right there.
player.
Wow.
Hey, Alan's back. Hey
Okay.
Alan. Hey Alan. Wave didn't like Julika's Venom.
Chiluka.
Hey, come on.
Julika.
Oh yeah, he's calling me out saying I'm the mix guy. All I'm gonna say is listen to Waves mixes, listen to my mixes, and then make your determination.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
shots
That was a dick
fired.
move.
Do your mixes
Shots.
clip through the whole song?
Yeah, he's talking
Is
about
that
the
what
song, not your
Julika was
mixes.
doing?
He's talking about the
It's
song.
it's not a bad mix. I don't know why yours was clipping. It wasn't clipping for Eric and I.
Maybe it was
Weird.
different.
I was wondering, is this my headphones or what's going on? Because I listen to everything on these. Never
No,
sounds like it's clipping.
No, you're right. It's extremely. They went for the max volume possible on it, but I think
It's
that
like
was
no dynamic range. So like that. I mean, it's just my taste. I appreciate dynamics in music. So I was like, you know.
Okay, Beato.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, I like Bandmaid's mixes, which are already really compressed.
All this passive aggression.
This was I'm telling you, this was gonna be hard to get Wave into in the first place, just because of the style of music it is. It's gonna be hard to get most people into that style of music, dude. That shit is hardcore, like I said. All right, let's keep going with the top 10. What's number 4 up here, Andrew? Can you pull that screen back up, man?
Hey,
All right.
Smith.
Hey Smith with Say My Name. Did we watch this one yet? I don't think so. They're a punk band from Osaka, formed in 2006.
Why?
And they're up 2
Did
spots.
we watch this like a month ago?
It sounds familiar, actually. I think we did.
And Ryan was like, I thought this was rock music podcast.
Huh?
I don't
Is this
remember.
that one?
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know.
Somebody
I don't
tell
know.
us.
That sounds
somebody
really
that's on our
familiar.
Patreon tell us.
Sounds familiar.
True, but that one's up 2 spots, or it's at number 2, right?
Hey Gordon, what
I can't tell.
what
on
Wave
that.
meant by dynamics is he means like the actual sound quality of it, not the actual like progressions in the song.
Yeah, like the dynamic
Yeah.
range, like
Yeah, the dynamic
difference between the basis
like they took out all
range
the
and the
headroom.
transients of the wave.
Okay, now I can see it. It's at number 4. It's up 2 spots. Okay, thank you, Andrew,
Moved
for
up.
fixing that.
Right on.
All right, let's move on to number 3. Ave Mujica. Yeah. I'm gonna say them in
Ave
Spanish every
Mujica.
time. What do you want me to do? Yeah, they're up 1 spot at number 3. They've been on our list for Jesus. It feels like forever at this point,
Forever.
and this is probably the only one that we haven't listened to yet.
Maybe we should check that out.
Yeah, probably. All right, number
Next week.
2 is Baby Metal with Metally and featuring Tom Morello. We know this
Dude.
one.
I listened to like 2 seconds to that song and it sounds amazing.
The Ave
Sorry.
Mujica.
Yeah.
Oh crap! What have we been waiting for?
I guess it's time. Next time.
Next week.
Cool. Yeah, Baby Metal still holding strong at number 2.
Wow.
And then number 1, I'm gonna assume, is still One OK Rock. Yes, it is still One OK Rock with their Monster Hunter Now song. called Make It Out Alive. And they've been sitting steady at number 1 for about 14,000 weeks.
It's been 20 years.
Not surprising. Not surprising. Probably the only song on the list that none of us actually like, and is still sitting there at number 1.
Do we not like it? I don't know if I've heard it.
Oh, I didn't like it. Maybe I was the only one that listened to it and didn't. And did anybody listen to this besides me?
What song is it?
The One OK Rock Monster Hunter Now song.
I am listening to it today with Eric. It's the new one, right? Has to be the new one, right? Anyway, Eric wants to hear the new One OK Rock song, so we talked about separating the tracks today on today's stream. So we're gonna check it out and break it down.
Cool. Well, I think that's it for today, guys. That is our top 10 list.
Stuff.
And Alan has some stuff he needs to say.
Oh, just coming back. We were just joking, by the way, Wave and I love your mixes. But anyways, I want to say there's 2 different styles of mixes. There's the one that Jaluka does where you can do an S style. They're just 2 completely separate art forms. Like Wave said, some people like the more open space where you can actually hear the dynamic range. Like you guys were mentioning about Rick Beato hates it when it's super compressed. And I think that's like very similar. Actually, you could say Bandmate has a similar mix in some of their songs, right? Where they compress the crap out of it. But it's 2 different styles, and I think they're both good in their own right. But some people apply it to certain genres. And also, I want to mention about Orange's project that he's doing over on his channel for Bandmade. And I'm going to read this summary he sent me. So he's doing this. It's a manga heavily inspired by the history of Bandmade and its members, but with fictional events. So it's like made up stories and stuff. And he hired a bunch of actors to voice all these, or actors and actresses voice the bandmate people, the members of the band. So I can't talk today. It features original character named Mika and her dad, along with bandmate members and more characters. All the characters are voices by Japanese voice actors, about 14 to 15 in total, and the text is written in English. They're going to release an episode per month, and it'll last for more than a year. So that's pretty awesome. They're putting a lot of work and effort into it, guys. It looks amazing. He already has a preview up on the channel, so you guys should check that out. It's the most recent video. Definitely go check that out. Set some bells, some reminders, so you can get notified about that if you're into some stories with Bandmade. I think it's a cool idea. It's a cool concept.
Yeah, Orange makes
a lot of work, man.
happen, dude.
Heck yeah.
Like,
and he's in our chat right now too.
Which is amazing.
So
he's on vacation like 12 months a year.
12 months a year.
Part of every month of every year he's on vacation.
Speaking of which, if you're a Bandmade fan and you're not part of the Bandmade community Discord server yet,
you're being ridiculous.
Another gem that Orange has given us. Be sure you join that.
Yeah, and if you're just too lazy to type in his name, you can just click on his little logo right here. Left click on it and press go to channel, and there you go. You don't even have to type anything in.
My gosh.
Just press that, and there you go.
And the first episode is coming out this month on November 26th.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Okay, we'll be checking that out. I think that is the end of the stream for today, guys. Go to if you want more content from us, obviously all of our socials, just Gaijin Guys. We're the only person that's got people that are going to come up. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Gaijin Guys. If you want, our group reactions that we've been doing. And there's, by the way, I never mentioned this, but there's 2 tiers on our Patreon. Like you can do the $5 tier or the $10 tier. If you don't want to, if you want to just wait an extra 2 weeks for the group reactions, you can just pay half the money. So that's always an option also. And then obviously, Alan was talking about, he's going to do I believe a breakdown of what song did you say you were going to?
One OK Rock. We're going to be doing a breakdown of that song. I want to mention something else too. Ryan is releasing his thoughts about the playlist also, right, Ryan? He's been uploading that. You'll see that too on the Guys channel. And I just released a behind the scenes look at the Baby Metal interview. That's also posted on our channel. So we have a lot of content out there. So
yeah, all kinds of good stuff, guys. Just put on your notifications, and also, do me a solid here, all right? Like we were like 100. Just get us up to 100 likes, okay? We're at 94. I know 6 of you still haven't hit that like button, so do it up for us.
If you're listening from Spotify, do it after you're done driving.
Pull over right now. Go to YouTube.
Stop eating. Stop whatever you're doing right now. Just
True. Yeah, just pull over. Just stop right now on the highway. Put on your flashers. Get to the side.
And
all
yes,
that stuff.
thank you all so much for being here today and for being patient with us. This past month, we've been like trying to make changes over to some new technical software and crap. And thank you for sticking around. Hopefully, things will be smooth from here on out. And now I'm blurry.
and in case we don't, in case this happens before next Sunday, let's all give like a big prayers and thoughts to Wave's significant other Rosie on her pregnancy,
Oh,
who
thank
may
you.
not be pregnant by the next time that we're back. So
Yeah.
good luck
Yeah.
with all that, man.
Yeah. I'm like, if I'm even here next week,
Yep.
I
Yep.
might be in the hospital. Who
You
knows?
might be on like a 62-hour labor streak at that point, bro.
Yeah,
Look for it.
you never
Start
know.
packing those
Oh.
bags now, bro. Like pack those bags for 3 days.
That's our plan today, is to get everything ready to go. So,
Well, good
I think-
job, guys. We got over 100 likes. All right.
yeah,
all
well
right,
done,
thank
chat.
you.
And now we can leave you alone. All right. See you guys. Have a good one.
All right,
All right,
bye.
See you, everybody. Thank you.
Stay awesome out there. See you.